Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another installment of the Casually Chelsea Show. Welcome, everyone. I am your host. Listen, we got to start off with a little bit of optimism and happiness because we won a game yesterday. You know, we picked up 3 points. Unfortunately, Arsenal won today, but Spurs lost, so there's that. And Postecoglou under some pressure, probably. But regardless of that, ladies and gents, welcome to the Casually Chelsea Show. I am your host, Marshalldbdx, Casually FC, Casually, whatever you want to call me. I am here to give you guys a about 3-hour-ish live podcast. I don't know if we're going to make 3 hours today, to be honest with you. 3-hour-ish live podcast discussing multiple topics that happened at Chelsea since last week's show on Sunday. And just giving our thoughts and analysis and kind of catching up on news in a nice compartmentalized 3-hour show for you guys watching in the background, listening in the background, or you guys in the chat who are tuning in today. I believe more of my panel will be coming as the show goes on. But hey, I was ready. I was on time. And so I said, fuck it. Let me just start the show and get it going. So big up to everyone who is here today. Be sure, as always, when you're coming to the house of Casually, you wipe your feet at the door. All right, ladies and gents, smash that like button. Be sure to subscribe if you're new here. Welcome to the community. And hit the bell notification so you're notified whenever we do go live. We go live multiple times in a week, so you don't want to miss any of our shows when we do go live. Hit that bell notification. Helps us out tremendously. Even the likes help us out tremendously with the algorithm. And subscribing helps us even closer to growing as a community. If you want to be a part of the community, check out some of the links below for all their other types of content and stuff. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm in a band. That link is below in the link tree, as well as other things that I make outside of this YouTube channel. Leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on everything we're going to be discussing today. And also, but surely but not least, memberships. We have 4 different tiers of membership, all that are going to be upgraded as we grow as a community. The more you guys help towards the membership, the better the content here is going to get. You guys are the reason we keep the lights on here, so big up to you guys for that. So there you go. But ladies and gents, without any further ado, I think it's time we start off with the first topic I have for you guys, which is borrow to throw. What do I mean by that? Well, let's discuss it by sharing my screen and sharing this first tweet that I have from you guys from The Telegraph. So, starting off, we have Barrow's players have been offered a bigger bonus should they lose their Carabao Cup tie against Chelsea than if they win. Continuing on here, Barrow are understood to have spoken to the EFL after being contacted by Telegraph Sport on Friday and reassured them that the bonus scheme would be changed. Now, I'm very curious why, because they're not denying it, right? It's saying the bonus scheme would be changed, meaning that it was that at one point. Why? It makes me really curious because Telegraph ain't no mugs either. Like, Telegraph is actually up there when it comes to like reliability and being consistent in how they portray news. So what exactly, like, I'm so fascinated. Like, what exactly was it that if they lost, like, surely they want to win. Surely, like, they get more out of beating a big team than they would to just lose to one. Like, that's expected. Like, is Ivan Toney behind this? Like, what is going on, man? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And maybe someone in chat understands what it is. That's what I mean, Kafkas. Big up to Alexis Kafka. If you haven't already subscribed to that channel, subscribe to that channel. Great content over there. But that's what I don't get. So, like, if it was like a random news outlet, I'd be like, okay, this can't be true, and I wouldn't even be wasting my time with this. But the fact that it's coming from the Telegraph, it's very interesting. Isn't this like match fixing? Yeah, it is. It is essentially like a match fixing. Maybe it's because of too many games played that they're incentivized to not go far. But then again, it doesn't make sense because they would gain. I'm sure they gain more bonuses and money from winning the whole thing. Like, there's an incentive to it to win it, right? So I don't know. It's a very interesting thing that's brought up, and okay, well, great that it's been fixed and it's scrapped, so it's no longer a thing. But also, why make it a thing to begin with? it's very strange to me. Very strange to me. So unless one of you guys in chat know the answer to this one, I'm very confused as to why this is even in place to begin with. So, you know, big up to Barrow for taking that off, I guess. I mean, listen, it doesn't affect Chelsea, right? Like, at the end of the day, I would love to take the win. If you want to just give us the win, if you want to just forfeit your match, then by all means, do it. Less games that my team needs to play, less chances that Reece James gets re-injured when he returns, or we don't have to overplay Malo Gusto, or Lavia, we can conserve him, or whoever's going to play that game. You know, less games for Mudryk. All I'm saying, it's less games for Mudryk to prove himself. And maybe he goes in January, which we'll discuss in later on in the show. But hey, I don't get it. We'll see what happens in terms of what kind of competition we're gonna have. I believe this match is going to be not this Tuesday or Thursday, but the following one. I know we have the week off until Sunday, I believe, or Saturday. I think it's Saturday, actually. Let me just double check real quick, guys. We're looking at West Ham on Saturday, and then Tuesday we play Barrow. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. But hey, so yeah, we'll see if anything happens with this on Tuesday. So yeah, we'll touch base on this. I'm sure Barrow are gonna play. They're not gonna throw. Who knows? With the way Chelsea is, maybe we struggle. Maybe we make it look convincing. You know what I mean? They give us some money under the table. We're like, okay, we'll make it look like you guys gave us a game. We'll make it convincing. We'll give you a goal and then we'll score 3 or something. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens with this. But it's a weird story. I figured I'd open up with this one since we always like to open up lighthearted here on the Casually Chelsea show. But yeah, let's move on to other topics that I have here for you guys, which is another lighthearted one. And I think a pretty scrutinized one that I also don't understand why it's so heavily scrutinized, which is Nicolas Jackson getting a contract renewal. So, or not, it's kind of a renewal. It's an extension as well. We have Chelsea FC basically announcing here. Chelsea is delighted to announce Nicolas Jackson has signed a 2-year contract extension until 2023. So you see, this is what I'm talking about. Really, I don't know what the Chelsea board is thinking. I thought a new contract comes as a reward. What are we really appreciating from these players with their poor performances? I hope it motivates him to become beta. Better. Like, you got big profiles like this guy saying this kind of stuff. And I personally don't get the amount of criticism. Like, does anyone expect... Like, let me phrase this way. If we had gotten John Duran, and John Duran is doing what he's doing right now for Aston Villa, for Chelsea, I guarantee you the Chelsea fan base and these, Chelsea YouTubers and Twitter heads go and tell them it's not good enough. Oh, he has a lot of flaws in his game and all this. But because he's not Chelsea... Because he's not at Chelsea right now, we're looking at him and just fascinated by how good he looks, and we're thinking like, oh, recruitment, you should have gotten him. What's going on? Oh, this talent ID in this club is so poor. We're in the mud. We're run by clowns and all this, and it's just like,
I am not a clown.
I don't understand the hypocrisy. The blatant flip-flopping from multiple fans in the fan base. So let's be realistic, right? Let's have real talk about Nicolas Jackson. When he came to Chelsea, I did not have high expectations. Most of us who are realistic did not come in to last year's campaign with Nicolas Jackson being our striker signing to replace Kai Havertz, to be like, all right, this guy is going to be our next Didier Drogba. This guy is going to be our next Costa. This guy is going to be an improvement off Kai Havertz. No one expected that. No one expected that. So for him to come into this team, do better than Kai Havertz, exceed the expectations, which are low, how can you then sit here and say, why are we rewarding him? Well, we're rewarding him because he exceeded the expectations. Wow, believe it or not, he exceeded expectations. And to the Chelsea fans, like Son of Chelsea out here and other fans out there that are whining and crying about we gave him a 2-year extension.
Cry more. Cry more.
It's plain and simple. Cry more. Because at the end of the day, he's given us more goals than any striker we've had since Diego Costa. Now, Kai brought this up last night, and if you haven't checked out the reaction to the Bournemouth game yesterday, he did say, and he did bring up the comparison of Mason Mount. Mason Mount had similar stats as well. Now, as much as I hate to admit that is true, to an extent, right? Mason Mount did also stat pad. To an extent, Jackson did stat pad a little bit too against Tottenham when Tottenham were down to 9 men, right? But the fact that Jackson has given us so much more outside of the striking, which is kind of annoying to say because striking should be your bread and butter. Finishing should be your bread and butter as a striker. And I think in this interview, he even admits he's not out and out striker. He's like, he played and learned to play as a number 10. Again, I go back to the fact that this is this man's second ever professional season in football. Just let that sink in. For it to be your second professional season in football, for you to come in at $40 million for extended 2 years, so he had a contract for 2021. So what? It's an 8-year contract originally. Now it was a 7-year originally. Now it's a 9-year, right? Let me do the math. Yeah. So it came in on 7 years, $40 million. Really cheap on the wages, cheaper than Rasmus Højlund, Acne Holland, bro. All right. The fact that he's coming in much cheaper than him, that's what I mean. Like, I understand the criticism. I'm not saying you can't criticize Jackson. There's plenty to criticize with Jackson. I would be one of those. I don't think I have an agenda. I really don't think I have an agenda on Jackson. I want Jackson to do better. I want Jackson to be great. And I have admitted and I've seen the development in Jackson since he came in. He has improved. However, it's still not good enough for us to, I guess, really, really compete, really be up there with other teams. He needs to be putting away more chances than he's missing. However, for the amount we're paying for him, the age he's at, he's not experienced. He's learning. Unfortunately, he's learning still, right? For the wages he's on, and for, again, what he brought to the table last season, despite the mayhem of Pochettino ball, I can't hate on the fact that he got a contract extension. I think he should be rewarded for that. If you now there's, listen, you've exceeded our expectations. Now we're going to set the bar higher. And I said this last season. I said this the end of last season. This season, now I expect Jackson to improve, and you should be in the realm of 20 goals in the Prem. This is what I want from Jackson. Is it possible? It could be very possible. It could be very possible. Before this game, he already had 2 goals. One in Crystal Palace and one against Wolves. He should have had another goal last night. You can't score them all, and he is going to be frustrating. We know this already about Jackson. But who's to say that against West Ham, maybe he scores a brace. Maybe he scores just one. Or maybe he gets an assist. But as long as he's bolstering his stats, as long as he's upward in the realm, close, and knocking on the door of 20 goals in the season, I think I'll be okay with that. And that will, to me, will show progress. And if he does hit 20 goals, if you want to extend his contract another year to offer him a new contract and wages, by all means, Clear Lake or Bowley or whoever's running our club by then, do so. I don't care. It's fine for me. Everyone has days off. Our fans are very judgmental. One day a player is superstar. The other day he's not capable at all. That's what I mean. I think, and I think it's unrealistic to expect him to be at the top of his game day in and day out every single day. No player is like that. Kevin De Bruyne, who most of you will admit is one of the best in the game, one of the best in Premier League history, last season didn't have that great of a season when he came back. You know, let's call a spade a spade. It wasn't that impactful, wasn't that great. Now he's come back and looks even better than last season. So players' careers, players' form is always going to be up and down. So I'm not going to judge Jackson too harshly on the fact that he didn't get me 20, 25 goals or that he's not Erling Haaland. I think those are very unrealistic expectations to set on someone who only has 2 professional seasons under his belt. Big up, Chris. Where are you? Anyways, so yeah, I like the fact that we do have an incentivized contract and all that stuff, and we are actually using that and showing players you can earn good money at Chelsea. You just have to earn it. So speaking of good money at Chelsea and earning it, this is going to be something that might trigger some of you. So trigger warning. We're going to talk about Victor Osimhen. Yep, ladies and gents. There have been a few developments on the Victor Osimhen story since last we spoke on this topic on Sunday. Last we left this, we just know Osimhen ended up going to Turkey for a loan, which Chelsea were trying to get him on loan. I didn't understand why it happened, this and that. Like, there's a lot of speculation, a lot of things in regards to why it may have happened. But let's get into the details, because I think this happening shines a big light on the situation. Is it completely true? That's up for your interpretation. That's if you want to believe it. But for me, I'm going to take the knowledge I've learned from this and try to piece the pieces together. So let's talk about Fabrizio Romano, what he said here, okay? What I can tell you, and I already told you last weekend, I can repeat again, this week is that Chelsea's appreciation for Victor Osimhen remains absolute, right? Remains, absolutely. Chelsea understand what happened in the final days of August. They understand how complicated the negotiations for the players in terms of financial, in terms of salary, and in terms of contract. But Chelsea appreciation of Victor Osimhen remains absolutely concrete and absolutely still there. That leads me to this next tweet. John Obi Mikel. The John Obi Bomba. Okay? Mr. Obi Mikel came out and spit some statements here, okay? Now, whether you want to believe it or not, whether you think now he's a brown envelope, now he's bought out by the Chelsea board and Bowley and all this, like, which is, it's so weird how many Chelsea fans go so out of their way to debunk anything that doesn't suit their narrative. It's very, very strange. It's such a phenomenon. Like, the only thing close to that would probably be Spurs fans and how much they hate their ownership. We're getting there. We're being very Spursy as fans, I'll admit. And I hate to even include myself in that statement by saying we, because I'm not like this. I know Alexis is not like this. I know a few people on this panel are like this. And I know some of you guys in the chat aren't like this. So yeah. Anyways, let's discuss this. John Obi Mikel confirms that Chelsea agreed to deal with Osimhen, but ran out of time to complete the deal. I know what the club offered him. I know where we got to. We finally got to a compromise. It was just little things here and there, paperwork, medical, and a few issues that we just couldn't get over the line. We didn't have much time. The one time you want the seconds and minutes and hours to slow down a bit, it just didn't work. Definitely, I think both sides really played their part in terms of, played their part in terms of getting the deal done. And I commend Chelsea for that, because I could see the ambition of where they want to take this club now, and also on Victor's side, how much he really wanted to come to the club. And he was disappointed it didn't happen. He was disappointed. So, Mikel appears to be making both sides look good. I think... Okay, so let me start off with the criticism, all right? Because I feel like everyone always thinks that I'm trying to defend the ownership and stuff. Let me start off with the criticism. The fact that we didn't get this deal across the line sooner is embarrassing. The fact that we couldn't come to a conclusion in a negotiation is embarrassing. The fact that we ran out of time when we had 3 months to get this done is embarrassing. Now, I understand that negotiations of this magnitude, players of this magnitude, trying to get them to fit into a pay structure and all that stuff is going to take time. I understand that. I'm an understanding person. Otherwise, my name would not be Casually FC. I casually understand, okay? However, it is embarrassing. If we're going to, and you guys know that I say this I've said this last season, and my one biggest gripe with Paul Winstanley as the negotiating director, right? Because if I'm to understand correctly, Paul Winstanley is the one negotiating the incomings. If I were to have a criticism on Paul Winstanley, is the fact that, dude, you need to be able to get these deals across the line. And you need to get them at the ideal price. The fact that you can't get your way when previous Chelsea ownership, when previous Chelsea negotiators, we'll call them, have been able to get great deals for players, have been able to get the deal across the line. We nearly lost out on Enzo. We nearly lost out on Moises Caicedo. And honestly, this isn't across the line yet. I think it will be. But we are on the edge of losing out on Osimhen. Now, what I think actually happened, right? And Chris, you can tell me if you agree or not. What I think actually happened, right, is that both parties, Chelsea and Osimhen, ended up coming to an agreement, but both had to compromise a lot. I think it's very possible that we did give him a low base salary, not 60K low. We're talking like over 100K, but maybe just under 200K. Maybe we gave him a low base salary, but we finally figured out an incentive structure that works for him, because he didn't want a loan initially. His agent didn't want a loan, okay? I think Victor didn't care for a loan, because now we see, since he reportedly sacked his agent, now he's taken a loan to Galatasaray. Now, maybe he took it as a result of not having a choice, but regardless, it tells me that he was open to the loan, right? And we did offer a loan. Now, something that people keep overlooking is that if we are taking a player on a loan, look at Jadon Sancho right now. Right now, with Jadon Sancho, we are paying the wages that he was getting over at United, with the help of United also paying part of those wages, because it's a loan. He's still on the same contract. He's still on the same wages. Now, at the end of the loan, we would renegotiate the contract so that the salary fits the structure that we want. But we were willing to pay him the money that he wanted, that he was currently earning at Napoli, for at least a year before renegotiating a contract. Now, apparently, we had, I forget his name, but the Nigerian journalist, right? He came out and said that apparently Paul Winstanley, or Paul, someone named Paul, said, "We will come back for you in January and we'll give you what you want." Now that sentence makes more sense. Now I think what they meant is that Victor and Paul agreed to a deal. This is a deal that Osimhen now wanted, but we ran out of time. So it makes sense that Paul goes, "Hey, we're going to give you what you want in January," which is the deal that we agreed on. And, the minor details, maybe like the fine margins in terms of the stats and numbers and incentives you need to hit, right? And how much you need to make. I don't think it's very far off. However, where I land on this, landing it, all right? Landing the point, okay? I think in January, Victor Osimhen comes to Chelsea. That is my opinion right there. I think in January, Victor Osimhen comes to Chelsea. We have already agreed the deal. We're just finalizing finer details. It's probably already done. And again, I think it happens because he, in this contract, I'm pretty sure there is a clause where he can.
65.
There's a less of a clause now. Again, I think the fee was never an issue because we can amortize it, right? We can amortize it. We're willing to pay the fee. And we sold a shit ton. Right, Chris? Exactly. And I think that... where was I going with this? Oh, I think Osimhen inserted a clause or a break clause in January because he probably knows that him and Chelsea agreed that, okay, we ran out of time. We'll come back for you in January. So now the loan doesn't look so bad. Now I understand why. Because apparently Mikel also told him, dude, you need to play football. You need to play football. So he took what he could. And, lucky for him, he ended up landing a loan at Turkey in Galatasaray. But I do think Osimhen is coming in January. I do think the deal already is agreed. I listen. I believe Mikel on this. Okay, I don't think Mikel is someone that's going to get bought out by the club. I don't. Mikel doesn't strike me as someone that's gonna just let himself be pushed around or bought out in terms of what info he's gonna put out there. But at the end of the day, I think he wants to say what he thinks. And he wants Chelsea to do well. And I think now that he's gotten more of an insight, because I feel like, and Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like if we spoke to Paul Winstanley and he kind of helped us understand more of what's going on at Chelsea and what the actual plan is, maybe we'd be more reasonable. But Chris, I said a lot of stuff.
With Winstanley, I don't know if it'd be reasonable because, like you said, with Enzo, we almost lost it, and it took Egbal and Todd Bowley and all that to go over and fly and convince it. And then we had almost lost on Caicedo. Liverpool swooped in, but we matched their price and all that, and we had to pay more. Also, with the Osimhen one, we had to have a guy who does podcasts to do the deal. Winstanley couldn't get it done. I don't know what Winstanley's there really for. It didn't feel like he's there to actually get the deal all over the line. He's just there, I don't know what he's there for. I really don't. He doesn't get over the line.
Fucking minerals, bro.
We need to get people who Mikel, who does podcasts. We need to get our ownership who shouldn't be really doing that to actually get over the line. And I agree. I think with Osimhen, there's a reason why it's only 6 months loan. It's not a full season loan. It's only 6 months loan. And then you see the deal where they did the release clause again for 65 million. And that starts in 2025. What happens to the second transfer window, the January transfer window? That happens when it happens then. So, I think we will get Osimhen in January. 65 million, I don't think is a problem for Chelsea. 65 million is quite cheap for a striker like Osimhen. Osimhen is one of the top strikers in the world, in my opinion. He's a great goal scorer. Even last season, I know he scored not as much, but he didn't really play as much last season because of injuries or whatever. So, I think we do need to get an Osimhen, because Jackson, he is a good player, but it's still not an Osimhen. Osimhen, we feed him chances like Cole Palmer, Neto. We know Sancho. I think Sancho is probably one of the best creators in the Premier League if he's on it. We've seen Sancho's balls. Even at Man United, he's actually apparently. I think Man United's second time chance creator since the last 3 years, and he hasn't barely played for him for the last 3 years. So I guess that speaks a lot about Sancho's creativity. So we need him, and I think he is coming. Like you said, we've already signed a deal. Apparently Osimhen has agreed and Chelsea has agreed. It's just we didn't have enough time at the very end. Yeah. So
I think it is.
I think it's just the timing was bad, and we just, in all fairness, we just waited too long to the end. We literally waited the last 2 weeks, basically, to actually start moving ahead.
Yeah, that's what I was actually going to ask you. What do you think about the fact that we waited so long and we ran out of time? I think that's so embarrassing, to be honest.
It is embarrassing. We just dawdled around with these. We signed 5 keepers before Osimhen. We could have done that later on, surely. We should have just prioritized Osimhen pretty much when we did Neto and stuff like that. So, and we dawdled on with all these random signings where we should have just been more prioritizing over Osimhen instead of these B players or flipping players for the prices or whatever you want to call it. So, you know what, you can call it embarrassing, but it is a little bit. It is a little bit.
So for those of you guys in chat saying we don't need Osimhen, and to an extent I see where you're coming from. The way I see it, and someone said this perfectly on another channel that I was watching, is that Osimhen is the type of striker that needs 3 chances to score you 1 goal, whereas Jackson right now is the one that needs 5 chances to score you 1 goal. So it seems to me that the reason we need an Osimhen is we need to be more clinical. And we've had this criticism of Chelsea multiple times this season and the season prior that we're not clinical enough. You bring in an Osimhen, I think it helps with the clinicality. And so that's why, in my opinion, like, I'm in favor of bringing in Osimhen. That's fine. I think it does help. One, I think it takes a lot of the burden off Jackson's shoulders, right? Because I was just saying this before. Big up RSM for joining us. I was just saying this before. Is that the fact that people are criticizing that Jackson got an extension on his contract and saying he doesn't deserve it, I think is insane, considering, like, bro, this is his second professional season. None of us came here expecting him to do better than Havertz, who was shit for Chelsea. Like, no one knew who the hell he was. Like, no one expected him to do well. For him to come in and exceed expectations, bro, that means you did better than what I expected. To be honest. And for a cheap price. Dude, 7-year contract for $40 million.
Yeah, he was not like 60 or anything.
Yeah, so I think you bring in an Osimhen, you take a lot of the pressure off Jackson, which is needed because he, as someone who this is only his third professional career, right? For someone who's in his third ever professional career, to have so much pressure on him and all this put on him, like, oh, we lost the game because of Jackson's stuff, I think it's unfair. Yeah, like the actual spotlight is unfair. Someone like Victor Osimhen, who's won the Scudetto at Napoli, who had an out-and-out amazing seat, who puts up numbers similar to Jackson. Like, if I had to call a spade, he's edges out Jackson a bit, but like the numbers are pretty close if you look at his career. He did have that one standout season. So if he's in a system that clicks, he's a good player, and he needs that creativity, which we have creativity. He can finish. He can be the one that finishes his chances. So I think a player like him could be very, very useful and help Jackson develop and become better. But I mean, RSM, your thoughts on this whole spiel? Like I'm just going over the fact that Obi Mikel came out with this side of the story. We didn't even get to talk about it until today. So
I mean, for me personally, like I hear people saying like, oh, the owners weren't serious about getting Osimhen through the door, but I low key disagree with that. I'm gonna be real with you. Like I think from everything that came out, it seems like, you know, Victor wanted to come. It seems like maybe the agent was really screwing him over in terms of dealing with the Chelsea side, you know. And I mean, at the end of the day, he fired his agent. Like I don't think there's a clear sign that like the agent was not moving in his best interest. That like whatever happened, again, we don't know all the details, but like as stuff has come out, right? It seems like maybe an agreement could have been reached if the agent wasn't there, if it was more directly Chelsea speaking to Victor. But, you know, obviously, you know, that wasn't the case. That didn't happen, and he didn't come through the door. And obviously, Napoli screwed him on the Saudi side. So, you know, I think, I don't know, like, I don't want to say, like, that they weren't serious about it. I think they were serious about it. I just think they didn't want to succumb to whatever the agent wanted us to do, because I think in terms of the wages, I swear to God, I feel like one of the biggest issues is the payday that the agent wanted from Chelsea.
Yeah, no, and I feel like that's consistent, or that makes sense, because the whole idea of the loan thing, right, is essentially, if we're putting the pieces together, Osimhen's agent is getting his license revoked at the end of this year, right? Yep. So he probably wants a new contract to be signed. He probably doesn't want a loan, because a loan would mean that Osimhen is on the current contract with Napoli. It's not a new contract. We're just going to borrow him, pay his salaries, but he's still on the Napoli contract. And by the time, if it was an obligation or an option to buy, by the time that contract runs out, Osimhen's agent no longer has a license. Osimhen's agent can no longer be Osimhen's agent. So he would have lost out on money. So that's why there's no loan. All of a sudden, we hear about Osimhen's agent being sacked, and all of a sudden, Galatasaray now have Osimhen on loan. So It didn't make sense before, but when you put it that way and you put those pieces together, it now makes a lot more sense why it never happened the way it happened. So to me, it seems very reasonable that Osimhen was. If it was just up to Osimhen, we probably would have gotten the deal down the line. I think it was made more complicated by the agent, and as a result, we ran out of time. Which, to an extent, I still think is a little embarrassing. But it is what it is.
Because how publicized the whole thing was. That's the issue.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. It's how publicized it was. Exactly.
On the second issue of like Osimhen potentially coming in January. Again, I remember obviously there was reports released that there was like a break clause in the loan during the January window, but I think after he officially signed for Galatasaray, there was no word on that. Like, I don't know, maybe I missed a news report or whatever, but I didn't see anything officially actually reported that the break clause was included. And from reading Fabrizio's tweet, like it seemed very emphasized that it was a year-long thing, as if he isn't available necessarily in the winter window. I don't know. That's just my read on it, but because I see people talking about like, oh, he comes in January. I don't even know if that's an option. I'll be real with you. I thought it was, obviously, because of the report that there was the break clause, but I'd love to read where that was actually included now that the papers are signed. I don't know.
Yeah, and that is something I'm worried about. I'm inclined to believe that it's in there, but it's not being publicized for whatever reason. But I'm gonna be huffing on the hopium on that one, and hope that is the case, that he actually did have a January break clause in there. But that being said, we'll be coming back to the Osimhen story later on in the season. I'm sure we will.
Oh yeah.
But that makes me want to talk about this other striker that, according to The Athletic, we were actually interested in, and that's Isaak To Chelsea. This is an interesting one, and I do remember last season briefly like bringing this up in terms of striker options. So let's bring this up right here. The Athletic reporting that Chelsea had asked Newcastle about Isaak for most of the year. Chris, we'll start with you, bro. Would you have entertained this?
Oh, what? What? When the transfer we just had, or now?
Transfer we just had.
If, like I said, if we couldn't get Osimhen then, and we had a result to Isaak, yes, maybe. But one thing what concerns me about Isaak, he does get injured a lot, and you know what? Chelsea fans are like complaining about injuries a lot. So why do we need to keep adding more injury-prone players? So no, I wouldn't entertain it because I don't want to like keep talking about someone's injuries. To be honest, so he's a good player. I'm not saying he isn't. He's not having the greatest season this season. To be honest, he's been quite poor. He actually got subbed off today. Actually, at 45 minutes, I'm pretty sure, like with a couple of other players. So I think the manager's seen he's not in the greatest form either. To be honest, so he's not in great form. So I wouldn't even like probably entertain it in January or something. I'd just go for Osimhen. And he would be a striker for us, right? Because he does play striker mainly for Newcastle. I know he can play on the wing, but he is mainly on a strike.
Does anybody remember how much he was estimated to cost? I remember there was a price drop last season
wasn't he like
on
67
Isaak.
for Newcastle though?
I feel like, because now it's coming back to me. Like now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, wait, we did cover this last season, or at the beginning of the summer, or at the end of last season, where like it was an insane price, like over 100 mil.
It was. I think it was like 130, 120 somewhere.
Yeah, it was like a crazy price that Newcastle had valued him at, and we were just saying like, no, there's no way for an injury-prone player to pay that much is crazy. I mean, your thoughts, RSM, on this? Like, do you think we missed out on a really good player?
I don't know, because like honestly, like I agree. Like now looking at the context of how the season has gone, imagine we're in a situation like for the Bournemouth game where we have Lavia, Enzo, KDH out, and then Reese is out, Gusso's out, and then, you know, God forbid, you know, we signed Isaak and Isaac's also out. Like, is that really what we want, to add another maybe if player? Like, again, I feel a bit better with the way, for example, that they're handling Neto's minutes, right? Like, that leads me to believe that when they sign an injury-prone player, they know the player's injury-prone, so they try to manage the minutes. But, you know, with the way that Isaac's going this year, with the way that the injuries have shaken out, at least thus far in the season, I don't know. I don't think that this necessarily would have been as a guaranteed move as maybe some people might think. Like, does Isaak solve all our issues? I don't necessarily think so. I don't think, for example, against Crystal Palace, that he would have been the one to win us that game. But that's just my personal opinion. I'm fine that if people see it in other way, right? But for the price, for the season that Isaac's currently having, for the way that our squad is built right now, where we have, in my opinion, just like, I don't want to have any more injury players tied to the team at this point in time, because I've been saying this since last season. God forbid something happens to Caicedo, like, we're cooked. Like, this team is cooked because we sent Leslie on loan. Like, yeah, we got Vega, but let's not act like Vega is up to Caicedo, bro. Like, even if we kept, like I'm saying, I feel a bit better if we kept Leslie. But Leslie's out on loan.
Yeah, I really like Leslie too. He offered something different.
Yes, that's what I like Leslie. And he offered, like, I think a certain level of physicality that, like, Caicedo would have offered as well in the same role. But again, Leslie's not here. And Caicedo came back from playing full 90 South America, playing immediately to a full 90 again, basically, in the Prem. And, like, in my opinion, we need a lot more players like that I feel are going to give us guaranteed minutes, that are going to give us the peace of mind of knowing, like, the squad won't need to be chopped and changed. So, like, we're not gonna need to see a Disassi at right back again, right? Like, I want a squad that, like, has a lot more of those. But that's just my personal opinion.
Fucking Disassi at right back. That's made me cry, bro.
Anybody could literally go back to the watch line, bro. I lost my mind. I'm not gonna lie. When Disassi just stared at the ball and pointed to Fofana, bro. Me, Ahmed, shout out, bro. We lost our mind, bro. We lost our mind. I'm not gonna lie. It was complete head loss at that point. We watched him jog, point to be like, yo, look, the ball. And then the Newcastle player saw him point and blitzed by him, bro.
Wait.
It was absolute head loss. And that's what I'm saying, but this is the issue. Signing more injury-prone players just means we're gonna have more situations where that type of stuff happens, where our squad is like, half of the people in the squad are not, like, full-time players. Somebody's playing out of position, like Cole left back. Like, signing more injury-prone players to our squad just guarantees we see that type of stuff, and I just don't want it, bro. I don't want to see it.
Wait, Ahmed, did you raid?
Yeah, I was thinking that.
I didn't raid, man. You know, I landed instead. I just landed in it.
All right, Ahmed raid, ladies and gents. Ahmed raid. Just I didn't get a notification from YouTube about it, but it is.
I told you, but I texted you on Discord, remember? So you knew if
I know you did, but I was like, maybe he changed his mind. I don't know. I mean,
no, but by the way,
a
lot of people have said that YouTube broke that. YouTube broke the rating. It doesn't let you know anymore.
Yeah, it's so weird. Yeah, and no one even said anything. So, but big up everyone that came from the Ahmed raid.
Look at this four, just quickly, yeah. Look at the four that showed up, yeah. Look at the four that showed up the moment we start talking about strikers.
Just for people to realize, and I'll take this out of the way. Prime has just joined the chat. Yeah, he was hidden behind the tab. But real quick, before you go, Prime, this is the article. This is the article I found 2 months ago where we did discuss this, and yeah, 115 million pounds for was basically the price that they put on Isaak. Which 115 million pounds for half that price, I can get Osimhen, who some of you will probably say is as injury prone. Well, if they're gonna miss the same amount of injuries, why would they pay twice the price?
I'd rather go for 65.
Exactly, but go ahead, bro.
And Isaac's not bad. And by the way, Ahmed, you're talking about fraud.
Wait, did you just say Isaac's not that good?
Marshall, I didn't say that. Mind your own business. Let me talk.
What do you mean mind your own business? You're on my stream, bro. What do you mean mind your own business?
I'm talking on right now.
Listen. I'm asking you a question. You're gonna come up here and talk to me like that, bro. You're gonna come up here. You sit right next to me and tell me what you said exactly, because I don't know what you heard. I didn't hear what you said.
I said that he's not better than Victor. But regardless,
well, that's your opinion. Okay,
Marshall, don't let,
yeah, go ahead, cook.
Ahmed, don't let me and Ahmed join forces and cook you. Let me cook Ahmed right now. Ahmed talking about strikers. How's your boy doing, Sammy?
Oh my god, he's never letting that go, bro.
Sam,
never letting you
go. How's Sammy Nation? How's Esco Nation?
Bro, it's the United Ahmed Nations. That's really what it is. Why are you Hey, you know what? I ain't gonna question. No, I'm okay. No,
I have a sore throat. I have a sore throat. You can hear it in my voice. So,
Okay, well, if you weren't blazing Samuel all summer, you wouldn't have a sore throat. But
If,
that's
Yo.
hey, listen, coming from an Osimhen fan that couldn't score in the Galatasaray's home debut, yeah, with all the other players, hey, uncomfortable conversations, isn't it?
he got an assist though, didn't he?
Oh, assist
he
type,
does.
assist type. Oh, Jackson got an
Wait,
assist.
so
So
does
Jackson got an assist too.
Jackson got 2 goals.
Does Samu Nation have GA this season?
That's
No?
gonna be trouble.
Okay. Cool. So my striker has a goal and an assist this season, and yours doesn't. That's
The
interesting.
Ahmed esophagus theory.
Very interesting. But keep glazing, man. Maybe that's why your throat hurts. Anyway, sorry, Marshall, for derailing your show.
Hey, you see this rubbish here. All I'm saying, bro, your boy Osimhen here is a waste of space, and I hope he doesn't come to Chelsea, bro.
God damn. Why we gotta make it about him not coming to Chelsea? I think okay. So Isaak, obviously, I'm okay with not having Isaak. I think I agree with what Chris is saying. Although, like, yeah, you can play him, and if he gets hurt, then you have a Jackson to fill in. I think that's cool, but for the price that you're paying, I think at that point, just go for Osimhen. He can give you the same finishing, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion, right? So let's actually go on to the next segment of the show, which I think it's got. I don't think this is ever going to end. We're going to have to just circle back on this constantly. The Enzo controversy. So
What's happened again?
Nothing's really happened again, but there's been a bit of an update, and I think. Well, let's just read it. So here we go. We have Sami Mokbel saying the FA are not probing the Argentina bus incident, which involved Enzo Fernandez because the video was recorded while Fernandez was on international duty, meaning it is a matter for FIFA and CONMEBOL. Chelsea midfielder Enzo Fernandez will escape punishment by the Football Association for his role in the discriminatory social media video that included derogatory remarks about members of the France team. And you know, I don't agree with the fact that he's getting away with punishment. I think there should be some sort of disciplinary action being taken. I think the FA should be getting involved. I understand what they're talking about, but this is regardless a player that is employed by an FA team. But regardless,
I don't
Wesley.
think they. I don't think they should.
Let me just finish the thing, and you can tell me what you think they should and shouldn't do. Wesley Fofana on Enzo's racist video. The best thing to do is to educate him to make him understand the certain things in certain countries that are perhaps acceptable in that country, but that in others it is very serious and that is punishable by law. I think he understood, and now we move forward. We are a team, and he is a great player. He is an example, so I hope that he will be an example in the right way for everybody. That's coming from Wesley Fofana, who I think was kind of leading the pack in terms of the criticism and on Enzo for what he did. So. Wesley Fofana, it was all sorted out in a very good way. He and Enzo came back, and we had a discussion with the club and with the manager. We had a meeting. We explained why we took it badly, because it was important for him to understand why it wasn't a good thing for him to do and why we took it badly. We explained it to him. We understood in his speech that he didn't understand that it could have hurt us. He didn't understand that it was something serious. And listen, I think the most important thing to take out of this is that he actually learns from his mistakes. And when it comes to these discussions, I think it's more productive to be educational than it is to be critical. I think you can be both, but some people just want to be critical without educating. But Prime, you had your thoughts on this. I'll let you have the floor.
Yeah, you were talking about you think the FA should do something. I mean,
Yeah.
They've explained right there why they're not. Like it happened on international duty. It's a FIFA, and what's the South American organization called? CONMEBOL or something?
CONMEBOL. Yeah, CONMEBOL.
Yeah. It's up for them to actually sort that out, and I don't really think they're going to.
I'll let you know right now, for free, nothing's happening at all.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I even said at the time, like, they're not going to do anything. So, like,
you know what happened? You know what happened when Brazilian cops started beating Argentinian fans? Nothing. You know what happened when Argentinian fans started throwing bananas at the Brazilian players? Nothing. I'll tell you, bro, nothing's gonna happen.
Nothing's gonna happen. Chelsea had a real opportunity to do something,
Yes.
and instead of doing that, he didn't get punished, and he got given the captaincy. So, is what it is. Is what it is. You don't care about racism. Apparently.
It's embarrassing that nothing is going to happen of this, because it's just like what Prime just literally just finished with. It just shows that you don't care about racism. And in terms of like, you know, CONMEBOL and international, you know, whatever powers that may be that are in charge of this, FIFA, thank you. It's only fair that if Enzo is going to get punished by this, then everyone involved in that bus stop, in that bus, should also be punished for it, because it wasn't just Enzo. And I think I think that is something that needs to be pointed out and reiterated, that Enzo wasn't the only one involved in this situation. Like, there were many more players that didn't really want to come forward and admit you know, their wrongdoing in this.
Bro, they all threw him under the bus.
Pretty much.
The Argentinian players, the president, they all threw him under the bus. So, if there is an investigation that takes place, Enzo will just get the brunt of the punishment anyways. So, who cares? Like,
exactly.
I don't know. Like, it is what it is for me. I'm not. Like, I don't rate the guy anyway. I want him gone, regardless of this incident. Like, he just annoys me as a player. But I'm not like. I don't know, we saw how people reacted. We saw how Chelsea fans reacted. We saw how rival fans reacted, not holding their own players accountable. No one really cares.
Yeah,
so,
that's true. It is what it is, unfortunately. We're gonna be coming back to this, because I don't think the story is ever gonna end really until something else big happens. They're always gonna bring it up. So it's gonna be something that's gonna be lingering over Enzo's head for quite some time, I'm sure. But any final thoughts on that before we move on to actually discussing Wesley?
West. I mean, to be honest, for me personally, like, again, this just shows how disappointing Chelsea's response was. Kind of shows that at the end of the day, you know, to everybody who says that like racism is no longer an issue in the sport, here you go. Like, not only did really nothing tangible happen to Enzo or anybody else on the Argentinian team, it got completely brushed under the rug. And for the vast majority of people, you know, just life is normal. You know, Enzo as a player, etc., like, nobody wants to even attach that to him, even though, you know, he said it, his own words on camera. Some people to this day are still like, nah, you don't get it, bro. Like, what he said wasn't racist. And again, like I said, just to show to everybody who thinks like racism is no longer a thing in the sport. There you go.
I mean, Betancourt, there's another example of, you know, there's still things out there that are, you know, deemed racist and people acting in that sense. So, hey, I mean, if you want to, you know, dig your head in the sand and pretend that it's still not an issue or that things like this don't happen, go ahead and do so. But the reality of it is that it's still happening. It needs to be called out when it happens, and there should be things that there should be some type of disciplinary actions taken when these things happen. So that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic.
Say on this.
Oh, well, I didn't know you wanted to.
He literally just asked.
Yeah,
He just asked. Does anybody have anything left to say? And you were dead silent.
You were rubbing your esophagus over there. Bro. I'm just saying.
Wait. Who's the donkey? Who's the donkey, by the way? That's a great PFP, by the way.
That's me. Yeah, that's me. Justice for Kai.
I was so confused. What's the who that was?
Yeah, I need to. The fact that it's donkeys is great, man.
These AI videos.
Oh my days, man. What are you gonna say, Ahmed? Go ahead, man.
I just want to say, man, obviously say no to racism, man. Simple as that, really.
All right. Yeah, no. I mean, I
Kick
agree.
him off.
I agree.
Kick him off. Kick him off. The way you waste 1 minute.
That's a yellow card. That's a yellow card. That's a yellow card.
The way Marshall left out Ahmed, I would make a joke about it, but since this is a serious topic, I'm not going to.
Yeah, man. You know, listen. You know what I mean? Listen,
VR check or the VR check? Possible.
You know what I mean? We're not catering to the babe community. You know? We're not catering to the babe community in this stream.
Yeah. Right, speaking of VAR check, though, I do have to VAR check the like count on this video. Ladies and gentlemen, there are over 100 of you. Some of you that came from the Ahmed raid. Big up to the Bridge 258. But you guys haven't wiped your feet at the door. And you're going to make me work more to mop up the little muddy trails that you guys left because you didn't wipe your feet at the door. But it's not too late to redeem yourself. Go ahead, smash that like button. Let's try to get to at least 50 likes right now since there are over 100.
I think it's worse. I think they've taken a shit in our toilet and not flushed. That's what's happening right now.
That's just rude. That happened to me once.
If you don't,
and
Fat
it's not,
Pot's gonna show up at your front door.
Oh my
You're
god.
gonna get Fat
Yeah.
Pot at your front door.
I am not a clown.
Marshall, to be fair, Ahmed invited these guests, so it makes sense.
Okay, I'll let you guys settle that
You know,
backstage.
you know
Let's
what,
go
man?
backstage then, yeah?
You
We'll
know,
go backstage.
it's just crazy that I'm getting cooked for this one. At the end of the day, Prime man, you can keep hating. I'll keep shining, G. I'll keep shining.
Listen.
Don't wink at
Speaking
me, don't
of
wink at me.
speaking of people getting cooked, we gotta discuss this. I hope you guys are all. I hope we're all in agreement on this. Wesley Fofana under scrutiny. Wesley Lukaku, are we calling him the next Lukaku? Because it's crazy how the fan base are reacting to this. So let's bring up, because some of you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Let's bring out what happened during international break. So during international break, Wesley Fofana was interviewed by I think French journalist, French journalist. Wesley Fofana confirms talks over Marseille move in the summer. I had a conversation that really touched me. I would be lying if I said I didn't weigh it up. It was from Benassia, Marseille sporting director. The objective is to succeed at Chelsea, Fofana. Fofana said, it touched me, and I think everyone knows why. I thought about it, but there you go. The current objective is to succeed at Chelsea and try to play regularly and establish myself at the club. He also said here, there's also reports here that Wesley Fofana has admitted that he weighed up a shock approach from Marseille in the summer transfer window. However, he added that he could also spend the rest of his career at Chelsea. Why is this so small? Anyways, let me get that bigger. Okay, internally at Chelsea, they never considered a sale of Wesley Fofana this summer. They believe the best is yet to come for him. Listen, I think there's some staunch differences between this situation and Lukaku. One, Lukaku set up his interview. This was not an interview that was set up by Wesley Fofana. They approached him and he answered the question. I don't think so. I don't think it was at his house. But regardless, he didn't set up this interview. Secondly, he never actually said, I will come to Marseille one day. He said pretty much along the lines of like, maybe one day I will return. Lukaku was already telling people like, I will return to Inter when I'm done with business here. He told Lautaro to stay there for him. Lautaro, don't leave. I will come back to Inter. Like, this guy literally tried to, he literally had interest for another club while he was at the club he just signed for. So, like, I think people overreacting on this is absolutely ridiculous. Like, obviously, this is why I really wanted international break to end, because so many Chelsea fans were so bored and wanted to make a story out of nothing. But, I mean, go ahead, guys. I'm sure one of you guys probably maybe might think differently. Ahmed, you're speaking, but your microphone is muted.
I didn't
Thank God.
Oh,
Shouldn't have told him that, man. You would have kept going.
I didn't even speak, mate. But
I thought
listen,
you.
get him out of my club, man. Get him out of my club, innit? So,
You didn't speak yet, you're still speaking. Voila.
get him out of my club, mate. You know what I mean? If his heart ain't in it for Chelsea, but his heart's for Marseille, get him to Marseille, mate. You know what I mean? Get him to Marseille. You know what I mean?
But yeah, Marshall, I disagree with you. I think for Chelsea fans, I mean, it's exactly the same thing. It's a Lukaku situation. They're both black players that they don't really like. You saw how Chelsea fans treated Fofana because of the Enzo situation. Fofana's one big bad game away from racial abuse again. So it makes sense that they would react. This way.
The Bournemouth game could have been it, bro. The Bournemouth game, bro. If you looked at
You're right. Did you just go for puberty then?
No, my voice.
That's his voice. His voice is gone.
Bro, Ahmed, your voice got worse since yesterday. Yesterday you sounded fine. Today you sound
No,
worse.
it was bad.
What happened?
It was been bad. I don't know, bro. Like,
Disasi played right back, Surfer. That's what
Disasi
happened.
playing right back, and then Cuckoo like basically last minute winner. Yeah.
I've been telling you, all that Salmon Nation glazing, this is what happens on it.
Stop, bro, stop. No, but real talk though, this is probably the most obvious rage bait I've ever seen from journalists. I'm be so for real with you. Like this is the thing. They know that the Chelsea fan base is highly reactionary, bro. Like there's no, bro, I'm telling you, there's no
There really is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Yeah.
Exactly. There's no context. It's all emotions. It's whatever I feel on the day. It's exactly how I feel. And you know what? They're gonna flip flop. I already saw people talking about, see, I always knew Durant could do it. Shut the fuck up. No, you did not, bro. You were linked to Durant, and you're like, see, this is the exact type of signings that the board wants that was gonna end our club. Shut up and let him cook. But no, this is the thing. So that's one. Two, the journalists also know that the Chelsea fan base is on high alert with this type of stuff exactly because of Lukaku. Even though, like you just went through, it's not at all similar, right? It's not at all similar. They still are going to conflate the two situations because they're reactionary, they're emotional. There's no context. They're just gonna feel stuff, and they were bored. So like, all right, let's throw this out there, and if it sticks, we'll write 60 more articles about it. Obviously, it didn't stick the way that they wanted to, so they kept it pushing. I mean, we already know that, you know, journalists are all constantly just trying to rage bait. Like, I saw a clip from Sky Sports where there was like this analyst, and she mentioned again that we have a 40-man squad. Like,
oh,
guys,
she got
please,
fixed. She got corrected on
please.
that by
I know,
Twitter,
but like, please, like, grow up. Like, it's so obvious. They want you to get pissed. They want you to retweet it. They want you to quote tweet it. They want you to share it. Please, people, open your third eye. This is so obvious just to bait you in. They want to bait you in to getting upset. Stop with the Durant.
RS7 also makes sense because, like, again, I know I made a joke out of it, but because of what happened in the summer, the way Chelsea fans attacked Fofana, this coming out about Fofana will trigger Chelsea fans. Like,
so I'm telling you, they know they're emotional. They're reactionary, bro. They're like little kids. It's like a little baby. You dangle like a shiny key in front of them, and they forget the world exists. There's no object permanence with these people.
I ain't seen this on Twitter, but like, the Chelsea fans really overreact and say get him out of our club, like just because of that, like just that statement alone.
Just a 2-star comment.
They need to touch some grass or something. Like they're bored out of their mind.
It is true, by the
they
way.
need to go to the gym, by the way, like I said on my show.
Do something.
I mean, actually, RSM, you were there. I said this on the Chelsea Hour. They need to hit the gym, bro. These Chelsea fans need to hit the gym.
They need to touch
the
grass,
estrogen is
bro.
crazy. Touch
like,
grass.
I'm so sorry. If it gets to the point where you literally...
You know what, Marshall? You
know what I'm saying is true, Ahmed.
You have too much estrogen. A lot of people have too much estrogen.
What?
That's because, these guys are emotionally connected to the club, yeah? Does not mean they can react emotionally. But are we not allowed to react emotionally to this?
Yeah, but then there's...
What are we doing here?
Being emotionally, and there's like, of like that...
What are we doing here?
You know what's an emotion? You know what's an emotion? You know what we call highly emotional people? Deluded. Thank you. Like, there's a line you have to draw in the sand. If you got your wife upstairs saying it's literally Sunday night, can you come to bed, please? And you're like, no, babe, you don't understand. I have to yell at random strangers on the internet that they're not proper Chelsea. You're deluded, brother. I'm telling you right now, bro. Like, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like,
Amen. There's nothing wrong.
Do you know who Matthew Harding is?
Do you know where the stand is, brother?
Time out.
Your wife is upstairs.
You can't do that one.
Your wife is upstairs, brother. Go.
There's one thing, like, feeling a certain way. But you also need to learn how to channel that properly. We're going to scream and cry because of what Fofana said. You're not a man, you're a bitch.
Yeah. No, but like at the same time, it's just like also like he correct me if I'm wrong. I believe the fact is that he actually is a Marseille boy. Like he was born and raised near, or like that was like his home team, his home city, from France. So it's like, yeah, no shit. Like he's a Marseille fan. He grew up with Marseille. He's gonna want to go to Marseille at one point in his career. The thing that I like for me, the reason I don't care about it is because he didn't say like, yeah, Marseille, I'll be coming to Marseille. Like he didn't say that. He's like, maybe I'll come to Marseille. Maybe I'll finish my career here at Chelsea. I got to see how it plays out. I think it's okay to say that. Like, you know, just see how your career plays out. You never know how it's going to. Maybe he gets another injury and it's like, you know what? I'm not cut out for the Premier League. Boom, goes to Marseille. You never know. You really never know.
The comments are killing me right now, bro.
No.
I'll be real, man. Listen. I'll be real, mate. Listen, man. Listen, I'll be real, mate. If he wants to go to Marseille and he keeps on glazing Marseille, mate, go to flipping Marseille, mate. You know what I mean? That's the fucking Marseille, mate.
Bro,
No,
it's crazy.
Yeah, man, my club, man.
Bro.
Yeah,
It's crazy. It's crazy because his voice too. That's what this.
Get him out of my fucking club.
You know what it is?
Get
You know
him
what
out
it
of my fucking club.
this is AI Ahmed. It's not the real Ahmed. This is how we know. It's AI Ahmed. Anything that Ahmed says right now, it's AI, bro.
Listen, man, I love doing this with the guys in it. You know what I mean? Casually FC, I'm a bit more chat free in it. I like to come here to meme. You know what I mean? That's what I'm here for.
This is true.
I'm here for the meme. I'm here to meme, man. On a serious note, obviously.
I mean, you said the meme thing. I had to put that at least once.
That was
That's a
not a meme,
classic.
actually. That one, yeah, was just me crashing out because you said a guy who bucked his flipping ACL, yeah, was gonna come here and play in January. Yeah, that was you, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Being
yeah,
a twat.
that was
Remember that, mate. That was you being a twat.
ratio tax. It's
I am not a
tax,
clown.
bro. It's ratio tax, bro. So, what were you gonna say though? I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Bangers and mash. That's what I wanted to say, mate. How about that?
All right, fair enough.
His microphone keeps going in and out. I don't know what he's saying half the time.
Yeah.
Who likes bangers and mash dry, bruv?
Is it better now? Because I'm not close to it. That's why. Is it better now?
Oh,
I think it's just your voice, bro. Like when it cracks, it's hard for your mic to pick it up.
the microphone can't keep up the frequency of your voice. In a different dimension.
Interdimensional Ahmed voice is crazy right now. All right, let's speaking of interdimensional and from a different
Your microphone's
world,
here, but your voice is in the multiverse. That's what it's like.
speaking of being in the multiverse, we're gonna have to talk about this fella here to start off. Not Maresca, but the first part of Maresca's comments. So we're talking about this. So obviously, let's talk. Let's talk a little bit about the post-match comments. Chelsea and Bournemouth will be fined £25,000 each by the FA for picking up 6 or more cards last night. Both Premier League clubs punished for ill discipline. And we have here Enzo Controversy on the yellow cards for him and his players. I complained about a foul on Wesley Fofana, which for me was quite clear, but it can happen. 8 yellow cards, probably because these sort of games are about duels and fights, and this can happen. It is not a problem for me with the amount of yellow cards. It is what it is. Sometimes the game demands the way you have to behave. I think it's ridiculous that we have this many. I think Jaden literally got a yellow card last night for asking a question. That's how crazy on edge Anthony Taylor was yesterday.
But you know who didn't get another yellow? Cook. You know who probably should have got another yellow as well? If we're being honest, Cucurella and Cook should have gotten double yellows.
Yeah.
But he didn't give them double yellows because, especially Cucurella, his first yellow was stupid. Wesley literally got the ball clean. We saw it in the replay, got a yellow. I'm telling you, we both teams got fined 25 by the FA. You know who the FA is giving half of that to? That's all I'm gonna say, bro. I don't care. Call me a conspiracy theorist. That amount of cards for the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Nah, bro.
No, you're definitely a Chelsea fan.
Care, bro.
I heard they're putting that card in the Premier League Hall of Fame because it's got so many names on it.
Also, by the way, I'm giving Maresca one more Anthony Taylor performance before he realizes what Anthony Taylor is. Every single coach has done this.
Well, hasn't he refereed like 2 of our games this season already? Is that true?
Well, yeah, so that's what I'm saying. The third one, and that's it. He's gonna notice.
He was the ref for our Man City game, wasn't he?
Yeah, Man City wasn't. Nothing really happened in the Man City game.
Yeah.
I have to say, apart from the Chilwell one, I don't have any problems with the other cards. Everyone knows that you can't go up. The players know they can't go up to the referee and mouth off or speak to him when he's given a foul. It's only the captains. So
you think the Wesley Fofana yellow was like warranted?
No. The Chilwell yellow. The Chilwell yellow was a tackle that he won and he got a yellow card for. That's really the only one I dispute.
Oh, okay.
That's the yellow card. The rest,
I think you can dispute the
Jackson keeps mouthing up, and he's already got 2 yellow cards already this season. He keeps mouthing off. Cucurella, I think, was dissent as well.
Was Jaden's dissent though? Do you think that was dissent? Because it looked like he was asking a question.
It's all done now. The problem is if you come racing up to the ref about when a foul's done, like from so many yards. You're probably going to
You're
get.
breathing in my direction,
Well,
yellow.
it's already done. You're not going to change. What are you going to do? You're not going to change his mind. He's already given it. Do you know what I mean? It's like
yeah.
Felix got one, I think, for time wasting. No, I'm correct.
Yeah, he grabbed someone around the neck and pulled them down. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But his card is actually one that broke the record.
Bro,
They literally said 30. They literally said 30 seconds before. It's like one more card to break the record, and then literally Felix. By the way, that's the only thing that's the only noticeable thing Felix done yesterday. By the way, so with the other card.
Wait, they can add that.
Yeah, look at how evil he looks in this image too.
He looks like he's an ankle biter, bro. He looks like a bald Caillou.
Huh?
Look at him, bro. He looks like Caillou.
You know what? It took me a minute. I understood the reference now. I get the reference now. Let's continue on. Let's actually talk about the actual the good bald person in this conversation, Enzo Maresca. So, yeah, my manager, my gaffer, Enzo Maresca on the improved second half. When we started the second half, we were already better with the same players. Well, that's not true. It wasn't the same players. You subbed on Sancho for Neto. We knew we had to get our shirts dirty, win duels, and fight. If we're able to do this for 95 minutes, we win matches. All the games are different, so you need different ways to win games. He also said, I think we played 2 different games. In the first half, we struggled, didn't win duels, we didn't win second balls. The second half, we were much better. But overall, I think we create many chances. The game was there, and we are happy. We knew before the game that Bournemouth were very high pressing and aggressive, but for me, it was more off the ball. We struggled with duels off the ball. In the second half, we completely changed the picture, and we were much better. It's football. I think my friend Surfer might have some disagreements here.
Yeah, I think that's a bunch of ass biscuits. I think we were totally shit until we scored. But we scored and we won, so I'm going to let him off a bit. But yeah, I think he's talking a bunch of hoo-ha. Do you know what I mean? I don't think we battled and won much in the second half. We didn't really create much chances. I can't remember the goalkeeper making any decent saves. I really can't. No, in the end, we just had that one passage of play that worked out for us, and so I'll let him off because we won. So
to a literal forest at home.
Yeah.
You couldn't scam 3 points off of a relegation team, so you're gonna have to answer for your crimes there.
You got Darwin and you got Darwin too. You guys at your club. I'm happy knowing that South America are making you pissed every Sunday, bro. I already got my win.
Listen, you got to face Bournemouth, man. Don't lose against Bournemouth, bro.
Hey, we just followed in your footsteps apart from this week about scamming 3 points of the relegation team, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Didn't
this guy? You know what this guy did, right? Before we scored, he was messaging me going, enjoying this performance so far, because he thought we were gonna lose. So then he was gonna call me and probably add me to the show, we drop points, so he could go, I told you about Maresca ball and all this stuff.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, he was right about the Felix one. He did say he enjoyed it.
But real talk though, with Maresca's comments, I disagree. I think what won us this game was just a moment of individual brilliance.
Yes,
for Cuckoo. That's really what it came down to. If we talk about did we deserve it? No, we didn't. Did we deserve it in the second half? We were improved, but we still didn't deserve it, in my opinion. We were improved in the second half, yeah, but that again, the bar wasn't held. That first half was disgusting. The only thing I can praise him on is obviously he made the subs that were necessary, and he made attacking subs. Whereas last season we would have made defensive subs to protect the point. So I guess that's something that I could say about it. But yeah, bro, I don't know about these comments. I'm very with you.
So let me continue on a few more of his comments here. Enzo Maresca on attacking options. It's important thing. The important thing is they're ready when they get minutes. Christoph didn't deserve to stay out, but sometimes you have to make decisions. He also said on the options on the right that I said already when we brought in Jadon we were looking for another winger like Noni. We're looking for the same on the left side with Jadon. I think we start the second half much better, and Jadon helped us a lot. What he did tonight is exactly what we expect from him. I know what he can give us. Christopher Nkunku was very good. He also said about Jadon Sancho and the Chelsea fans, I have a feeling that Jadon is a guy who needs love. Also, I know he has a desire to show the player he is. For me, he just has to enjoy to play football. And I mean, to an extent, I agree with you, RSM, that we didn't deserve to win it, and we did get lucky to an extent. But I think one thing I gotta give Maresca is that in the second half he corrected the wrongs that he made with the starting lineup. He did end up taking off Neto, who wasn't effective. We saw Jadon was much more effective on that left wing for the 45 minutes that he played. He took off Nicolas Jackson, who wasn't looking like he was going to score a goal. Had 3 chances, didn't bury any of them. Put Nkunku in that position instead. Whether you like the Felix change or not, that's up in the air. Moves Cole Palmer to the right. Nani Madueke wasn't doing anything, so he takes him off as well.
That's what, by the way, that's what Winter Surfer's been saying this whole time, that he'd rather see Palmer on the right.
Yeah.
I'd rather see Palmer on the right allowed to shift, like what he was saying.
Palmer doesn't. I don't think Palmer enjoys the 10. So did last night. The reason we couldn't get the ball forward, especially for most of the game, is that we didn't play with a 10 yesterday. Palmer did not play as a 10 yesterday. He was on the right most of the time with Madueke. So the reason we kept passing it backwards and we couldn't get it forward enough was because we had no one in the middle to collect the ball. We had to see, and the problem is Madueke couldn't get much in the game because Palmer was over there on that side. Palmer does not like playing in as a 10. He likes playing on the right and drifting in. So I think it works out better that way. Maybe it's going to take Maresca time to work that out, but Palmer, you can see, unless it's a really open game like Wolves second half, in a tight games like this, Palmer's getting triple teamed or double teamed, which is fine and everything like that. But I think he'd prefer it onto the right. It would also make more space in the middle for someone because everyone's focusing on Cole Palmer.
I also rewatched the game last night, and something I gotta say about that as well, in terms of the game and talking about Palmer, is I think he really misses having Gusto, because I think Gusto plays to facilitate whatever Palmer wants to do on the right hand side. Like we saw in this game multiple times, Palmer was receiving on that right hand side with somebody immediately behind him, so he couldn't turn. What Gusto does in that moment is he makes the run, so Palmer can do a quick layoff to the right to the right for him, and then he runs back to the back of the defender, and it's 1-2-3. And then he's facing goal. We did not see, obviously Disasi was not doing that for him at all, and neither was Madueke. Like Nani needed to realize, like, you can't be a touchline winger in this moment. You need to go and help Palmer, but they weren't doing that.
RSM, isn't that what Nani's supposed to do?
I told you Nani didn't do that. I literally said that Nani didn't do that.
Nani's not supposed to do that at all.
Is he not supposed to do that though?
No, he's not.
Nani wasn't doing that. I'm saying Disasi wasn't gonna give that to him either.
Disasi didn't give that, but I say no one was overlapping Disasi. No one was overlapping Madueke at all. Like he didn't have anyone. Like,
you're not. Go ahead, bro. That's the point, though. You're not supposed to have an overlap from the fullback. Madueke is supposed to provide that, not Disasi.
Well, he's not. How can he provide that when he's? How can he provide that when he's playing on the same side? You can't provide that when he's playing on the same side.
He's playing ahead of Palmer on the same side.
If Disasi's part of the back three, why should he be overlapping?
Disasi was a right back in possession.
Gusto does that, yeah.
So yeah,
but like Gusto doesn't like. Okay, in this system, like yeah, you're right. Like they're not going to bomb forward the same way, but they at least step up to give the little 1-2-3s so that you can get to the final third. But they don't necessarily completely continue the play. And that's what I'm saying. Last game I saw that, like, and the thing is, like, okay, if Disasi is gonna do that because he doesn't play right back, he's never gonna do that. Then in my mind, somebody else, if it's not Nani, somebody else should have been there to give Cole Palmer an option to do a quick 1-2 so he can get out of pressure.
Who do you think that should be?
Achimpong.
But here's the thing, and I'm glad RSM brought this up, because one thing I noticed is that when Jadon Sancho came on, what Jadon Sancho was able to do on the ball was hold it and keep possession, which I think bought Cucurella time to overlap with him. Multiple times where we saw Jadon connecting with Cucurella, which wasn't happening with Pedro Neto in the first half. So in that second half, we saw that left-hand side be much more effective, with Cucurella having much more liberties to bomb forward forward and do 1-2s with Jadon, and it looked effective. We saw Cucurella run into the box twice, 3 times because of Jadon Sancho's ability to hold on to the ball long enough for Cucurella to get in that position, which I don't think, one, Disasi's not the type of right back to overlap, and if he does, he probably doesn't do it that well. He ain't running that much.
Disasi got the pace of a semi-truck, bro.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. So it's just, I think we saw how when we have effective right backs or effective fullbacks, how it's supposed to work, and it goes in tandem with also having an effective winger. And maybe Nani yesterday was double man marked. It is true. Bournemouth were really effective in the press. They were really effective in the man marking. I think they were very aggressive in the first half, and I think they died out on the second half. So, I mean, that's probably part of what it is. And I think the sub for Tosin was effective because then there was more defensive solidity in the right back. And Tosin was being more direct and cutting through the middle. We saw multiple passes to João Felix, who yesterday I wasn't that impressed by him. He was very frustrating for me. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. We're going to have to just see more games. On the Jadon Sancho thing, though, Jadon Sancho could have gone to Dortmund in a swap deal with Man United in the final days of the windows, but the valuations were off, and Sancho was really pushing to have opportunity at Chelsea. Jadon Sancho's stats yesterday, by the numbers, we're looking at 48 minutes played, 1 assist, 2 dribbles completed, 2 chances created. One of them was a big chance created, and 100% on long ball passing, I guess. Good debut. I think it's... I don't think it's outlandish to say it was very much Hazard-esque in the sense of the impact he had on the pitch. I like that yesterday it wasn't Cole Palmer FC. It was Jadon Sancho FC for that second half. Jadon Sancho was able to put the team on his shoulders and kind of create us opportunities and help us look better in the attacking third. I think we need multiple players like that and not just relying solely on Cole Palmer to do that for us. So, I mean, Ahmed, I didn't really get to hear much of your thoughts on the game. What did you think of Jadon Sancho?
Jadon Scamcho, as I like to call him, Scamcho.
You don't like to call him that.
Huh? No. But bro, can we just not enjoy ourselves here, man? I'm just trying to enjoy myself here. Why not? But of course, I think Sancho had a good first performance at the end of the day. He looked really bright when he came on. I think, again, one thing that he's spoken about a lot is the idea of Maresca and his 1v1s, right? And I think Sancho is a great example of the type of 1v1 that maybe Maresca is looking for, and that can be direct, can beat his man quite well, and then has the football and IQ to find that space, essentially, to give it to the fullback who's inverting. In this case, that was Cucurella. So yeah, man, big up to Sancho. I think a negative that I would have on a personal level, if I may, obviously, I felt like we didn't really control the game as much. I think my issue is right now that whenever we try to play out the back, we're too shook right now. Our centre backs, bro, are like really scared, and maybe part of that is due to Isasi, and like them being scared about that. But we need to be a bit more relaxed on the ball, in my personal opinion. Like, we kind of act like erratic children when we're on the ball. Like, it's like hot potato. Literally, it's like hot potato with us. So calmer, you've got the ability to be press resistant. Let's relax, boys and girls. Simple as that, really.
Do you guys agree with that? Because I disagree to an extent. I think Fofana is one outlier in that situation yesterday. Because for the most part, I feel like Levi Colwell was the calm head, was the one that was okay.
I'm just talking about in general, though. It's in general thing, because even whenever the Sarsi would get the ball, for example, it would be happening. Fofana would be happening. Even Cucurella, to an extent, there were times where he would get the ball from the back and then he wouldn't be able to make the pass correctly, or just kick it out, basically, if that makes sense, right? So it was happening in general, bro. So
I think he needs to. If I'm Maresca,
you read the same comment, yeah.
If I'm
I know. I knew that Marshall read the same comment when he started laughing because I read it soon. I was like, I gotta hold it in, bro.
If I'm Maresca, I need to start prepping Achimpong for more minutes, because I think yesterday's part of the issues with Fofana is that
Yeah.
he had. I don't think he got on with Disassi at right back because Disassi's not a right back.
Not trust Disassi at all.
He's not a right back.
What I
You know
want
what?
is
No. Prime, I want to help you out.
Sorry, Ahmed.
Can I help you out, please?
What do you mean help me? You haven't let me
All right,
speak.
you know, listen. You know what we need, boys? We needed to buy another right back, boys. That's what needed to happen. Innit?
What?
If you didn't believe, if you
No, we
didn't
didn't.
believe, wait.
We
Let me
didn't
speak.
need to buy
Let
another
me
right back.
speak.
We've got
Let me
Action
talk,
Pong there.
please. Let
If
me
you
talk,
speak,
yeah.
your voice will go.
Yeah,
That's what happens.
again. If a Tempong, was not rated by Maresca, right? Okay, you don't rate a Tempong. We get a buddy, all right. Maybe you're not feeling him right now. Okay, we know that Reece James, obese Reece, as my boy, Prime likes to call him, Mr. Unreliable. You know what I mean? And everything like that. You know what I mean? If he's not reliable, I need another right back, boys, to be my backup, to be the backup to Gusto. I need another right back to be the backup to Gusto. That's why all of last season, in the beginning of this season, in the summer, I was like, if you don't trust the Champong, bring me another right back because I cannot trust Reece James. And you're looking at it again right now. Gusto's injured. Reece James is still not looking even fit enough for West Ham, boys. Deep that he's not even going to be fit enough apparently for West Ham.
Yeah, but we knew that. We knew that though. We knew that.
No, apparently he was going to be ready for this game. Apparently, remember?
No. They said
that was the report.
No, that was the early report. That's the early report, and then before international break, they said he would be ready for a few weeks.
So Matt Law came out and said he wouldn't be ready to start Bournemouth, and now it's worse.
Can I say what I wanted to say? Because Ahmed, I wasn't going to say any of that. Like, see, this is why no one can play in midfield with you, Ahmed. Like, you lose the ball, you're too erratic, you have no first touch, you have no sense of awareness. You can't play in midfield. Anyways, what I was going to say is, Disassi shouldn't have played that right back. I think that, and we saw it when when Tosin came on, and the defense looked like, at least from that side, it looked a lot better. I want to see, assuming Gusto and Reece are still out with whatever injuries they have, I want to see Fofana out on that right hand side and then play Tosin in the middle. That's what I want to see. Because we saw once that happened and Fofana was allowed license to push up a little bit, that right hand side looked a lot better, or at least from the sassy role that he was failing at. That's what I want to see. But yeah, I also hear what Surfer is saying. I want to see Action Pong get more minutes. Hopefully he gets minutes in the conference and in the Carabao Cup.
We got Carabao Cup this week, right?
Because
Carabao Cup this week.
Next week. Tuesday.
Yeah, because
Tuesday.
I want to see what Action Pong can do, because he looked good when he came on last year against Spurs.
But here's the thing, like, I feel like Ahmed is speaking in hindsight. Because
I'm not. I said this before, bro. I said it even before. That's one thing, you can't.
Hold up. I can attest to the fact that he did say, I remember because I was with them during the transfer market streams and everything. He did say,
but
one thing
I was saying this last season. I was even saying this towards the end of last season to even Marshall, even Prime was probably here.
Don't do this, Ahmed, because I've been talking about Reece James.
He did one down low.
No. I was because I was making the point that, honestly speaking, we need a number two, like a actual what do I call him again? A complacency, like a contingency plan. Because I don't know if Reece James can be fit.
Yeah, but I think until we can't buy another right back until if we sell Reece and or Gusto, we can't buy another one. Because what if Gusto didn't get injured and he was fit? Then that guy would just be sitting on the bench. Like, no, that's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Action Pong and Fofana can do that role as cover. I think we have a big enough squad. There should be no worries about injuries and squad depth and whatever. We have a good enough squad.
Here's the thing, though. Like, I think, and maybe this is the optimist in me speaking. I think when I hear Ahmed say that, it feels to me like it's hindsight, because it's one of those things that I don't think most of us had this notion that Reece is injury prone, which is totally understandable considering the last 2 seasons, right? He gets this hamstring surgery last season, fixes himself up, we're assuming this is going to fix the issue. Now, we know with the whole suspension thing, he wasn't going to play. But in the beginning of the summer, we went under the guise that hopefully it fixes his hamstring issues and he will be fit for better. He will be more fit than the previous 2 seasons. If he is fit and Malo Gusto is playing that backup option, then you don't need to get another option. You can have Action Pongdera as an alternative, but you don't need a third option at that point, because it goes under this. You're going under the impression that Chilwell is fit, he's playing you some minutes, and then you have a backup in Malo Gusto who can fill in while Reece is recovering. Now, unfortunately, Reece is still hurt, or whatever's going on with Reece is going on with Reece, plus the suspension. Now we're over relying on Malo Gusto, who was never really supposed to be a first team player or a first team right back. It just happens to be the case that Reece James has been so injury prone and so unreliable that now it's Reece who's the backup option, if anything, and that backup option is injured. So I wouldn't mind Action Pong coming in and getting 10 minutes, but go ahead, Ryan.
I think regardless, and what Ahmed's saying, like, well, you can't buy a right back just to tell him that.
I think we need to sell a right back if we're going to get a right back.
Yeah,
going
that's
off
the
what
point
Tom
I'm
was
making.
saying.
Because what if we bought a right back? But Gusto stayed fit, and then Reece James was also fit. That guy wouldn't get any minutes. It's a waste of money. So I think as of right now, we're fine. Like, we've got enough cover. I don't think there's anything to worry about.
Yeah, I mean,
and also your argument for a right back was to bring in Dallo. Dallo,
Dallo.
Yeah, that's what Ahmed wanted. That's why we all ignored his right back shout. So you wanted Dallo.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Who would you bring in who you know is going to be a third choice right back? Who's actually going to take that deal?
That's why, you know who I said? I would have said Kasunu. Great place back.
Who?
Kasunu. You went to actually Atalanta. You went to Atalanta. He was at
what does he? Does he play for Atalanta's first team?
Yep.
How old is it?
Currently,
He
was at the Bundesliga. He was actually at the Bundesliga winning side.
Let me get this straight. You're going to ask a guy, a first choice player at Atalanta, who's in the Champions League, to come be third choice at Chelsea.
No, he went to Atalanta this season, bro. Like, he was available, but he was at Bayer Leverkusen.
How old is he, Ahmed?
I believe he's either 21, 22, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but Ahmed, you know why that's irrelevant? Because the only way we should buy him is if we sell Reece or Gusto.
They have Gallagher, man. They have Gallagher, by the way. Gallagher scored with a Marshall, if you don't know.
Screw Gallagher.
Hold that, Marshall.
Big up Saad, by the way. I think that's actually Saad.
It is Saad, yeah.
Yeah.
Stop acting like you watch these players.
You know what it is, man? The man them hating because I actually watch stuff in it, you know what I mean? I watch the players, I scout players like Chelsea these days, innit? So
I'm talking about your concept of your buying a player and telling him your third choice.
No, because that's why I was saying, that's why I was personally saying you bring in a guy that's a hybrid, and then obviously try to move on from Disasi or like Buddy Shaw essentially to bring him in.
We'd already got Tosin.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's where, like that makes sense. It doesn't work, but it is what?
Huh? I'm a little confused now, but I'm not gonna lie.
That's why my issue is that the club should have thought about that, because like they should have known if we don't have Reece James, if Reece James gets injured and Gusto gets injured, are we happy with Chimpong? If the answer is no, you should have moved on these centre backs a bit more better.
But that's not the club's decision. That's the manager's decision. And the manager did come out and say he does like Chimpong and Tariq George.
No, we're not, because you're talking in hindsight. Because at that time, Gusto wasn't looked at as injury prone, and Reece had just got the surgery.
No. I'm not even saying that Gusto's injury prone. I'm just saying though, at the end of the day, we still need to have possibility.
Listen, Ahmed, listen to what I'm saying. My point is, at that time, Gusto wasn't looked at as injury prone, and Reece had just got surgery, and he was looking like he was recovering and being fit. You can't buy a right back until we get rid of one of our right backs. You can't buy another one. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
why I said you get a guy that can play 2 roles for you, right back and centre back, bro.
What?
Cool though. Is that player that you were referring
That's what I
to?
was
Can
saying.
he
You
do
get a
both?
guy, even a Simican would have been a good example of this, brother. Simican would be a great example of this. Guy can play right back and he can play centre back too, right? He can do it.
You're still not getting it, are you? We have 3 right backs at the club already. Why do
No,
that?
Yeah.
he's a primarily a centre back, but can also play as a right back.
Okay, and we've
It's
added
that option.
Tosin. We've added Tosin, and we got Fofana back. So why?
But
are we
that's what I
adding-
was saying. That's what I was saying, bro. You move
Oh,
on
but-
from either Disasi or Buddy Shaw to make space to make that
But why?
happen.
But why would we buy? But why would we buy? Okay, say we buy Simican, right?
So you're
We
asking
start the
for
season.
import-
Everyone's hold on,
Yeah.
Surfer. You start the season. Everyone's fit. Who's your first choice back for? Ahmed, including Simican. Who's your first choice back for?
But first choice back 4 would probably be again, as I said before, you'd have Kukurea probably as your left back, Levi
Okay.
Colwell, Simican, in my personal opinion, and then you would have what's it called? Probably because I don't think Richards are going to be fit. Malo Gusto.
No, I'm assuming everyone's fit. Everyone's fit. Start the season.
Then Reece James, and it'll be Reece James in it, right? Reece
Okay,
James.
cool. Reece James gets Reece James gets injured 2 games in. Then Gusto goes in, right?
Yes.
Gusto gets injured. Then you're breaking up our centre back partnership. Like Simican at right back.
Yes, we can do that for one game because I think Fofana can still do a job for you
Oh,
for one game
Gusto,
or 2 games.
Gusto and if Gusto and Reece are both injured long term, which is very possible they could be, you're breaking up our partnership at the back. No, I don't know. No.
Bro, at the end of the day, bro, the game is the game. You gotta be able to find ways to make.
But
things happen.
I feel like I have a bit of an issue with what you're saying though, Ahmed, because you just said earlier before, and you literally just alluded to Fofana. You know, you have him as an option. If we're talking to Ahmed 3 months ago, you wanted Fofana gone. You thought Fofana was washed. He's not gonna have a space in this club. You were ready to sell him. And on top of that, Ahmed, I think it's unfair to say then you get rid of the Sassi and Buddy Sheila because if the manager, you need to give the manager time to see what he can get out of these players, and then if Maresca comes out and says, "Hey, Chilwell doesn't work for me, Sterling doesn't work for me," or maybe the clubs say, "Listen, we don't want you to play these players. We're gonna sell them off."
Saad was asking for the link, by the way. Marshall.
Gotcha. Yeah. Saad, can you send me a DM?
Oh, they said never mind. I want to bring up the Enzo combo. Yeah, leave us alone.
Yeah, look at this.
Also, Ahmed, why are you assuming that this conversation we're having wasn't had between Maresca and the sporting directors? The possibility of Gusto and Reece both being injured.
Oh no, that I don't know. That I can't speak on.
No. My point being, my point being, Ahmed saying we should have brought in a centre back / right back. But how do we know that discussion wasn't had? This discussion
we brought in a centre back / left back with Vega.
Yeah, actually, we did bring in a centre back / right back because Tosin can play right back.
Mm-hmm. We did need to replace Chilwell. That was an issue with the left back.
Ahmed's face.
That's a Tosin right back, mate. Okay, mate. If that's what you want to do,
And I mean, I didn't say I wanted to. I didn't say I wanted to. I answered your question.
Comments?
I just
questions, concerns. Yeah.
I just think it's Jesus Christ. I think the situation was that there was always going to be a doubt about Reece's fitness, even if he started off the season.
This is true.
And everything like that. Gusto was there. It's just a freak injury and stuff like that. And like I said, we got Ashton Pong and stuff like that. I would love to see Ashton Pong get some cup minutes now with the right back's injury thing, just to see him in that role and stuff like that. But just the thing is just no to Disasi at right back at all.
100%.
Also,
just say no to Disasi, bro.
This Reece injury thing, right? I said this at the time when it came out. I don't think it's actually something that's serious. I think the type of manager Maresca is, he's all about like load management. I think he's just not playing him because he's not willing to risk it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
in
right.
theory, we didn't need Reece against Bournemouth. We don't need him for the next game. Like
same with Lavia. I think it's the same with Lavia.
Yeah, I get that, but like the Sassy though.
I agree, but again, the Sassy had played right back a lot last season. I understand him trying to test it out, and ultimately, like, we have enough firepower on the bench where if it fucks up, we can still win, which we did.
I agree with you, Prime, about
failed experiment. I don't want to see it
I
again.
think so. But I agree with you, Prime, in the sense of like testing it out. But I think all of us, well, I like to be a little bit more forgiving of Disasi than most fans, I think. And I give Disasi the benefit of the doubt. Is like, this guy missed all the preseason because of hernia. He's still not fully match fit. He's not 100% match sharp. So why even bother putting him at right back? Like, I think you're just setting him up for failure. He's been doing this at Conference League too, by the way.
But at least for me, one of my options for this game was either Disasi as the right centre back in the 3. Or you play Caicedo as the right back and have him inverted into midfield.
Or you bring in... I personally think you could have done Cucurella there and have Vega be at the left back option.
Yes.
Maybe.
I'm down for that.
That's also a choice as well. But ultimately, like, he took the worst option, quote unquote, with Disasi. It didn't work, but we still won. He's going to... Like, Maresca's not stupid either. He's not going to make the same mistake twice.
I hope so.
Hopefully
I
not.
hope you're right about that.
Not. We'll see in the next league game. Hopefully not.
Yeah, because if it happens again, I'm going to hold him to the same flame that I held Pochettino for doing the Chilwell left wing bullshit that he did.
No, we can't do that. No, because we gave Poch 10 games of left wing Chilwell. So.
Hold up.
Who's we?
We're
Who's
friends.
we?
We're
I
friends
didn't.
now. Yeah, I know. I was friends, bro.
After 3 games, I was like, you better fucking stop with this Chilwell left wing, bro.
3 games is crazy,
You
bro.
better stop.
I ain't gonna lie. First game, I was already like, why am I still Chilwell left wing, dog?
Okay, Marshall, that's fine. Give it 3 games then. You give it 3 games.
Bro. Well, technically I have.
I have given it 3 games. I have given it 3 games. It's sort of twice in the Conference League.
Don't be smart.
Yeah. No. That's Surfer's right. He did it in Conference League twice, and now this is the 3rd game, bro. I don't want to see it. I don't like it in Conference League either. But it is what it is. Let's actually go on to the next topic I had for you guys, which was more on the Civil War stuff that was happening during international break. I mean, I touched on this. I touched on this subject on the Chelsea Hour on Thursday, and I guess there's a few more things too that I guess I missed, and I kind of wanted to see what you guys thought about this whole fiasco. I'm sure maybe we have differing opinions on there. There we go. Like Bali Clear Lake versus Bowley. Oh yeah, Prime really didn't want to talk about it. All right. Big up.
He doesn't like conflict.
He doesn't like Civil War.
Yeah.
All right. This is his least favorite Marvel movie. Anyways, how the ownership of Chelsea Football Club is split up. So we're looking at 61.6% to Clear Lake, and then an even split of 12.8 between Weiss, Walter, and Bowley. We continue on with some of the headlines that grab people's attention over the international break. So the Athletic has here, there is a suspicion on Clear Lake's side that this schism being played out in the public domain is actually a ploy to disguise the true motive of Bowley's camp, which they believe is an attempt to put pressure on them to make a offer to purchase his stake. 3 factors in particular have contributed to the fracturing of Chelsea's owners: a cultural difference in how Chelsea should operate, decisions to mutually part ways Mauricio Pochettino, and lack of progress over the stadium. We continue on. Clear Lake Capital are backed by a $90 billion pound fund they control, as well as personal billions of Iqbali and Feliciano, according to the Lawton Times. Athletic also reporting here, figures familiar with the talks claim multiple parties have approached Bowley, indicating they are willing to take on Chelsea with him. Long-term investors, not people who expect short-term returns, ideal candidates seen as passive financial backers who can provide perpetual capital. Todd Bowley is determined to press ahead with plans to buy control of Chelsea, even though majority owners Clearlake have no intention of selling their 61.5% stake. Investors have approached Bowley in the past month to offer to provide the funds to buy out Clearlake. Some other details here from Sky Cava. Despite Todd Bowley refusing to take no for an answer, Clearlake are confident they will continue to be Chelsea's majority owners in the long term and have completely ruled out selling any shares. Clearlake and Bowley are in tatters. Bowley's approach is to hire experts and let them go on with it, while Clearlake, particularly Iqbali, has taken a role considered by Bowley as micromanaging. A source close to Bowley's side described Iqbali as being obsessed with player trading, much like in a stock market sense. So here we have a bit of a list here in terms of understanding or PYS's understanding of things here. So PYS saying here, Bowley versus Clearlake, what I can understand from reading the source reports so far. On Bowley's ends, he wants a CEO of football, then a sporting director. Wants them to make the decisions. He also wants stability with coaches. Thinks plans for Stamford Bridge rebuild or new stadium should be faster, which I think that's a little hopium there, but we continue. Does not think owners should be hands-on day-to-day. Agrees with data, multi-club model, and youth-led project, but would make more exceptions for older and proven players. Whereas Clearlake and Iqbali seem to come from this perspective, which is prefer two sporting directors. They want directors to feed up to him/them. Must be involved in all football decisions, can be ruthless on managers, and heavily data and youth-led. We continue on with a few little details here. Todd Bowley traveled to South Carolina to observe a training camp run by the Real Madrid Foundation. Seeing youngsters train in Madrid's kit has led him to consider the possibility of setting up similar mini academies for Chelsea around the world, which I'm in favor of that. Why not? There are some doubts on Bowley's side as to whether Iqbali carries enough football knowledge to be such a pivotal figure in the recruitment setup. After all, only 2 years ago, he was pitching tactics to Thomas Tuchel using a novel 4-4-3 formation, the well-publicized incident which the Bowley side denied they were also part of, and pathetically dismissed by Clearlake as little more than human error. Chelsea point blank deny it ever happened. Yet, it made a pretty significant impact on Tuchel, who was surely not hallucinating when he saw hallucinating what he saw and heard. That's coming from Ben Jacobs, Give Me Sport, whatever. Clearlake suggests that Bowley was too swayed by individual agents and signed off on deals that made limited business sense, pointing to the need to loan Sterling to Arsenal on deadline day this summer just to get less than half of his wages off the books, and as proof that the initial Bowley-led window in charge has left lingering problems, according to Ben Jacobs. And obviously, guys, as I continue reading this is just going to be PR from both ends, right? Like, each side is going to say one bad thing about the other. One side is going to say more bad things about the other, trying to convince you to be on one side or the other. But we continue on. Lawton Times saying here also as well, sources at Chelsea have told the Times that Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart delivered an 18-page report detailing why Pochettino needed to be replaced after 10 months in charge, only for Bowley to try to veto the decision. We continue on the positive side. Chelsea say they have modernized the medical and recruitment departments with work on the academy and training ground to begin soon, which I would like to hear more about this work on the academy and training ground. We'll come back to that. Some with football department question how Tosin Adarabioyo is in an upgrade to Trevor Chalobah, a Cobham product and one of Chelsea's form players at the end of last season. It's understood Bowley would prefer to keep squad size down and back Cobham talents, even if appealing like-minded profiles become available on the market, according to Ben Jacobs. We have figures within Clearlake insist that will now slow down. Figures within Clearlake insist they will now slow down on player acquisition as they back new manager Enzo Maresca with a 5-year deal and believe him to be aligned with their and the sporting director's vision. Clear Lake and Bully signed commitment as part of the purchase agreement in 2022 not to sell Chelsea for at least 10 years, but there is nothing to prevent them from trading shares with each other, according to The Athletic. Recruitment is an issue between the parties. Sources speaking to London World on a condition of anonymity have said that Bully intended to focus not only on players who could be good for the future, but also on those who could immediately adapt to a top club where winning is the ultimate goal. Chelsea have hired highly rated scout John Tweedy from Brighton to join their academy, who was the wingers and number 10 role scouting at the South Coast Club. So Brighton, okay, got it.
They're on the South Coast.
Got it. And then Enzo Maresca has insisted he is not worried that he could become a casualty of the fallout between co-owners Clear Lake and Todd Bowley. I said a lot. There's a lot of information there. A lot of PR between both clubs. A lot of 18-page papers that were written. I mean, Surfer, I haven't gotten really to hear your perspective on this whole fiasco. Is it being overblown? Has this been happening the whole time? Actually, I think I heard a little bit of your perspective, but enlighten us.
Listen, we all know if we were successful in one stuff, this probably wouldn't be happening. But then it's a consortium, right? So
yeah,
you're gonna have different factors. Probably Bowley. Listen, what I will say is, whoever's like in this fan base, I'm Team Bowley. No, I'm Team Clear Lake, Greg Barley. They all have to sign off on every single decision and transfer that's made. Okay?
100%.
Now, I do like Bowley's, whatever they attribute to Bowley in terms of he wants to hire people just to run the club and let them run it. I prefer that.
Let me see if I can find that tweet. Yes.
Yeah. I prefer that. I don't like two sporting directors. I don't see the point of that. If you're going to have two sporting directors, then have someone above them, like a CEO, managing them. I don't really want Iqbali involved in all footballing decisions. I just want him to sign checks. You know what I mean? Never hear Sheikh Mansour going into negotiations for Man City. You know what I mean? Or as much as people rag on him, Ben Kroenke or his son is not going into negotiations for Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those. I think it's optimistic that they want to get this done by the end of November. I think it's very optimistic to do something like this.
Of course.
It's also I think fans are going to be shocked because I think both of them, whoever gets full control, I think the stadium plans are going to be not at Stamford Bridge no matter who's in control. Because 55,000 is too small for a club like Chelsea. 100%. We should not have a smaller stadium than Tottenham, Newcastle, Sunderland and West Ham. Sorry, should not happen. They look across at Spurs, they look across the deals that Spurs have got, NFL, concerts, boxing matches, and they want all of that plus the football at Chelsea.
And this is another thing too, just real quick, that the person that was hired as the new CEO, like one of the press briefings that came out when he was hired is the fact that he was a major part of the SoFi Stadium plans. And if you look at SoFi Stadium's capacity, I'm telling you, they're not going to be happy with the 55-seater.
No, that holds about 70, 75, I think. Yep. It had WrestleMania. It had WrestleMania 2 years ago, so I know they got over that in there. But the problem is, back to the ownership thing, it's just a bit of... I can understand Bowley's frustrations, you know, in terms of Big Barley stepping in, having more hands and roll. I can also understand Clear Lake's thing that this guy who owns 13% of the club can veto some of our decisions. Do you know what I mean? It's just that's the problem with the consortium. That's the deal you signed. You know what I mean?
100%.
If Bowley gets this, Bowley's still not using his own money. He's still going to get backed. If Bowley gets this, I hope he signs something that says this doesn't happen in 2 years' time. To him again. Do you know what I mean? He keeps having to buy people out.
Don't you find it weird though that, like, I think we can all come to an agreement that this was always Bowley's idea to take control of Chelsea or buy Chelsea, and he got backers like Clear Lake and Hansburg Weiss and Walter to help him afford that. So
I think he always thought they were going to be less hands-on.
Yeah. The gentleman's agreement. That's what they had apparently. Like, what the hell? Like, you think a deal this big, you would have that written already, you know?
Wink and a nod. That's what it was.
Yeah, it's like, hey, yeah, I'll take care of this, right? Didn't even take a full season for Clear Lake all of a sudden to take over. But I mean, I said my piece on this stuff on Thursday at the Chelsea Hour show. If you guys haven't seen it already, go ahead and check it out. But I mean, RSM, what did you think on this whole situation too?
I mean, I think it's obvious that this whole thing started because I think Bully wants just to have more say in everything that's going on. Because he's a minority owner. I don't see why the majority owner, unless, again, this is and I said this before any news came out, right? When the first thing that broke was like there's something brewing behind the scenes. I said potentially the only thing he's being related to is the stadium plans, because the only other news that had come out before that is we got a new CEO coming in, and the first thing that was briefed about the CEO is the fact that they wanted to move forward with the stadium plans. And again, it's looking like Iqbali and Clear Lake want to have a massive stadium, and I think Todd just wants to get to 55 at Stamford Bridge. And so they're at complete odds about that, and I think with Iqbali and Clear Lake, they can literally not move forward with any stadium plans until Bully says, okay, fine, I'm on board. And I think that's like why this whole thing is becoming an issue, because I think Iqbali and Clear Lake are saying, okay, we said that we wanted to be in a new stadium by the end of the decade. Like, that's just not happening at this point. So now we need to start forcing Bully's hand. So like they're gonna be like, oh, we're offering to buy you out, and Bully's like, actually no, fuck it, I want to buy you guys out. And they're like, yeah, like that's just not happening. Like we have infinitely more money than you. And now we're here where now they're just releasing a bunch of PR back and forth, trying to get support from either side of the fan base. But at the end of the day, like people need to realize, they're like, oh, Bully's doing it for the love of the club. At the end of the day, it's all money, dog. Like it's all money. No. Don't think that if Bully gains control, like it's not gonna be a consortium. Cool. Now it's the investors he owe money to that have a say what's going on at Chelsea. Because again, he's a billionaire, but Iqbali Clear Lake are billionaires with a big boy B. Like there's a difference between them. Anyways, that was my thoughts on that. I get people based on. By the way, another thing is it's not black and white. There's positive and clear negatives to both sides. And if anybody thinks that choosing Bully is going to solve all of our issues and somehow get us back to like Roman Eriksson says, you're completely wrong about this type of owner and the type of person you think Bully is, especially in terms of making big decisions.
And that's the thing, right? Like at the end of the day, you're right. The biggest incentive in this is that they want to make the club profitable. The only way they do that is if they make the club successful. And they have to come to a decision as to what the plan should be to make that club successful. Now, I do want to go to you, Ahmed, but I'm going to use this moment of talking about the stadium to transition to the next topic, and I want you to have the floor on this because I think this is more of your wheelhouse anyways. Let's go ahead and actually discuss some of the things that were going on with the stadium as well as the path for the youth. So we'll touch on this topic really quickly, and then we'll go into the stadium part. So we have here, apparently, according to Sammy Mockbell, there is a big distrust with the academy boys at Chelsea because of the first team strategy of just signing players, said one well-placed source. If Chelsea aren't careful, the departure of Rio Nagamura to Liverpool will be the tip of the iceberg. So that's alluding to the path for youth that we seem to have eliminated at Chelsea. Not to say it was ever really clearly there, but we'll touch on that, I'm sure. Then going on to some of the stadium stuff that's been going on in terms of the Earl's Court stuff. So let's clarify, and Ahmed, you're here to help out with this, of course. So breaking, Chelsea have held talks over leaving Stamford Bridge and moving to Earl's Court as they seek resolution to their plans for a bigger stadium. This is coming from Guardian Sport. I think it was Jacob Steinberg that had reported this originally. We continue on here that apparently Chelsea would need to submit a bid for Earl's Court, with a source saying a conservative estimate of its value could be about £500 million. The club's owners are committed to maximizing revenues by building one of the biggest and best stadiums in the country. A statement from Earl's Court then came out afterwards saying there is no plan within our plans for Chelsea FC to relocate to Earl's Court site. We have a fully detailed design shortly to be registered with both local authorities, which prioritizes the delivery of thousands of home and jobs and culture and open space through a well-designed and considered master plan, which has involved over 4 years of engagement. This will see development commence in 2026, with the first residents and occupiers moving in from 2030. This is and will remain our primary focus.
It's a rehash report from 2022. That's all this was.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Yeah.
we went over this too.
Yeah,
I remember we
did-
talked about the
yeah,
fact
we
that
did.
was, yeah, and Ahmed even, reiterated as well. But then we have here Chelsea. Chelsea would need an agreement with Chelsea pitch owners, which holds the freehold of Stamford Bridge Stadium and could block any attempt to move. Let me see. Yeah, pretty much the same thing. And that's everything I have in terms of the stadium stuff. But Ahmed, you pretty much already said this a while ago, and this would be just you rehashing what you said previously. But I mean, your thoughts on this whole civil war, and I guess the crust, the crust of it, the cusp of it, I don't know, the whole center point of it, which is potentially the stadium.
I mean,
there you
honestly
go.
speaking, mate, I'm just team Chelsea. I just, I don't really see how, particularly with the transfer money that's in football, how you can get silent investors from the Burnley perspective. I know he's looking for silent investors now. I just find it really hard, particularly when it's a Chelsea football club, you're spending money on like a net of 50 million, for example. Like any investor, I don't know if they're gonna be willing to just spend 50 million, willy-nilly on a certain player, right? On some level, they're probably gonna be like any justification for some of the stuff that's happening, if that makes sense, bro. So for me personally, just the math is not mathing, if that makes sense in regards to that. So at least that's my point of view. I think the reality of the situation is that unless Bowley is in some way, shape, or form able to get like some crazy value of money to get Clear Lake to sell, then it's not happening. I think I've seen a lot of people make this comment, Clear Lake say it was a quick investment firm. So if they get a big amount of money, that means the investors are going to probably want it straight away. And it's like, guys, when you're doing an investment fund, you're accepting, you're not getting your money right away. You're expecting medium to long-term success. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're expending your money to come in the next 5 to 10 years, right? That's what you're
Exactly.
asking, right? And this is where I think
That's
lot
why it's
of
called
people,
investing.
yes, like there's investing in shares, which I can do right now. Yeah, if I just get plus 500, right? I can invest in shares in the FTSE 100, the Dow Jones, the local ones. That's just regular investment. These guys are doing where they're spending hundreds of millions of pounds. They're not gonna get anything right away, boys. They know that, bro. So again, I doubt that K Lake is willing to sell, in my personal opinion. I just think, and I can't lie to you, I've been really thinking about the last few days, and I think it really does make sense if you think about it from the school of thought that maybe Bowley is trying to up whatever his value percentage of share is to try to make K Lake basically buy him at a higher rate. I'll be honest, bros. If you deep it kind of makes sense. Like the way that the PR stories have been moving, right? And I just think for me, I get that maybe Bowley might be thinking about the branding deals and stuff like that. But if that is what your issue was, bro, okay, you can step aside from the footballing work. Why are you stepping aside from the commercial stuff then? Because if your commercial stuff is your bread and butter, then step aside from the football stuff, fair enough. But go in for the commercial side of stuff, right? Help out with the Nike deals, help out with the new deals for the club, right? That's what you should be doing, bro. If that's what your issue is at the end of the day. And let's be real. And finally, you are the chairman of the football club, right? Again, if you have an issue with what's going on with the transfers, bro, you have an actual vote and a power that's been given to you as the chairman of the football club, right? As per the agreement that you made with K-Lake. Why are you not voicing it there?
No, but he agrees with them. He signed them off.
Exactly. So therefore, for me, any nonsense that I'm reading, by the way, about PR-wise, Bowley is the one that wants to sign the top players. Bowley wants this and that. It's not true because he's also happy with the sporting structure, guys.
Yeah, they said it in the thing. They said it in the thing.
The point I'm trying to make, though, Andrew, is that a lot of people on Twitter will be like to you, no, Bowley doesn't agree with this, and Bowley doesn't agree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, bro? Right? They'll be like to you, he wants big players.
And
it's like no one is reading that. He's happy with the current model, chat. He's happy with the beginning.
They agree. They probably agree on about 85%.
No context, brother. They don't care.
Yeah, 100%.
There's literally like zero content, and it's like, guys, if they're agreeing with you on everything that's happening right now, and nothing much changes, what are we now going to start calling Bowley? Bowley's getting controlled by someone else now? We can't say that, can we? So that's all I'm just trying to say at the end of the day, chat. But we'll see what happens. But I really don't think Bowley's going to get any control of the club right now. He's probably going to go to K Lake. And unironically, I saw a lot of people try to crash out on me. There was this guy on Twitter saying, "How can you want Clearlake? How dare you say Clearlake?" I'm like, the reality is, guys, we need continuity right now. If Burnley comes in, and hypothetically he starts changing stuff, we've going through more turmoil. We've gone already through like 3 seasons of turmoil. We can't continue on turmoil consistently, because all that leads to is us getting further and further away from top 4. Like, just point blank and simple, bro.
I agree, but now that I actually thought about it, I think what's more likely to happen is that as this civil war continues on, I think what's more likely to happen is Boli is going to eventually buy out the shares of Hansburg, Weiss, and Walter before he starts to go butt heads with Clearlake. And eventually, I think the conclusion of this is going to be one of these owners are going to be the complete owner of the club.
Apparently, the plan is, I'm pretty sure you've already reported this, bro. End of November is when we're going to know who the single guy is, apparently. That's the plan.
End of this November?
Yes, end of November, apparently. That's the plan.
I have my doubts on that.
I mean, the tweet was they wanted a resolution by the end of, but that means
yes,
like
so
that's just them saying like, we want to be done with this amount of time.
So for me, so for me, the thing is, bro, usually when they're giving you dates and stuff like this, it usually means they've been doing stuff already in the background. Stuff has already been happening in the background before. That's why whenever you hear these timetables and stuff that's happening, it's more than likely that's the case. Now, in regards to obviously the comment that we just made right now, right? Just going back to Clearlake and Bowley stuff, right? The reality is, bro, they've both been bad. Simple as that, bro. They've both done bad mistakes. We should not be saying they did this guy and this guy. Simple as that, really, for me. But we'll see what happens, bro. We'll see what happens. It's just that, I don't like this idea that, you become like, oh, Bowley's the hero. Bowley's the savior. Bro, Bowley got me Raheem Sterling.
I agree.
Bowley got me a bunch of these guys, bro. Bowley did not think that he was enough to get stuff done.
But then Bowley didn't get Mudryk though. Wasn't that Clearlake?
No,
that one's still up in the air. I think
that one
was
Bowley. You know what, bro? The more and more I think about it,
didn't he want like Ronaldo or something?
Listen, the more
but Chris, he agreed because he signed off on it.
Yes,
he agreed. That's exactly what I was going to say. They both agreed on that spending.
I think they always have to agree.
And not only that, by the way, for me, another thing.
No, Chris, they don't always have to agree. That's the point of a veto. They don't always have to agree.
Exactly.
Yep.
So the thing for me is just that, at the end of the day, guys, and I'll say this again, I just think, listen, whoever comes out on top, I've just got to hope that they've got the best in mind for Chelsea Football Club. I think that's fair to say, right?
I agree. I think it's fair to say, but it realistically, they're gonna have what's best in mind for them, which I think is going to result, to what is.
But the reality is, Marshall. The reality is, Marshall. Whether people want to understand this or not, I don't know why we keep on thinking we're living in the era of Roman Abramovich. Chelsea, every single club is going to be run as a business. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Chelsea's run as a business. Arsenal's run as a business. Manchester United is run as a business. We are all run as businesses at this point in time. We just got to accept it. You know what I mean? It's just about how can we win now titles within the current extremities of business that we are living in.
This is true.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, you're absolutely right on that, and there's no disagreement. This is a different era of football. Now there's more rules than there ever were before. Now there's more regulations than there ever were before, and it's very real. Like people have said this on multiple streams now. Like it's very real. Leicester City are right now in investigation. They can get deducted points for transfer policies that they did.
Chelsea's got a something happening with them right now, bro. You know that, right? Chelsea's got an investigation.
Case,
right now they have an investigation.
No. Another one. So obviously, I don't know if you know the Man City 115 charges. Like I think the sponsorship deal argument hearing is happening this week. And if you remember, because I remember the show me and you did, bro, on the Casually FC news. Chelsea have got evidence in that one to hold back Man City's claim for the sponsorship shop. You remember?
Oh yeah, I remember you talked about. Yeah, we did talk about that briefly. Yeah, I remember.
So that's the hearing and the results of that's gonna coming out this week, by the way. So again, that if you think about it, right? Yeah, and remember, we don't have a front of chat sponsor yet. So something to think about there. You know what I mean? That's what I want to tell everyone.
Wait, that's actually
no, for sure.
hold up. That's actually a good point that I didn't think about. We still don't have a. I thought that completely passed my mind because I like literally 2 weeks ago. I'm like, all right, after international break last year, after international break, we had the sponsor. So I was like, all right, whatever. International break's over. We still have no sponsor. Yo, that's a great point. I didn't even think about that
either.
Yeah,
there
so I'm
haven't
saying
really
like
been any
that's a
conversation
great
either,
point
yeah.
that
All
he's making.
season, no response this time.
It might be tied to whatever. Yeah, bro. It might. That's a.
It could be.
Okay, that's a certified. I hear you.
That's why, bro. That's why I was, like, big up to my guy Abdi Hassia. He's on like he literally reminded me like, oh snap, Chelsea have got a sponsorship, like they've got some contributing evidence to it too. And I think there's another club as well other than Chelsea that's backing Man City in this case too. But yeah, again, something to think about for sure, bro. Newcastle, yes, Newcastle as well, right?
Okay.
Again, I remember Newcastle, they want it to happen because again, they're Saudi backed, so they want to be getting that PAF money into the team to start buying like players, right, as well. So listen,
they've been bottlenecked right now.
Interesting week, bro. Stay tuned for that one, bro. Stay tuned for that one, bro. I'm being serious when I say that to you.
But yeah, going back to the whole November thing, I think it's such hopium if we're expecting a conclusion to all this stuff by the end of November. I think it's gonna take I think it's gonna take up most of the season, if not even into the next season, for this to get resolved, because we're talking about billions and billions of pounds being involved.
And trillions.
Maybe trillions.
90 trillion per Chile capital, mate. Chile capital is worth 90 trillion, bro.
Get the fuck, are you serious?
Yes.
Is that real?
90 billion.
It's not billion. It's billion. It's billion. It's billion.
I was about to say,
Really?
there's no way. Trillion is crazy. I was like, this is worth more than Jeff Bezos? Huh? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's worth more than Apple. I don't think so. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I was like, I don't know about that. That got me with the.
Bro, if our owners had that much money, believe me, we'd have a 200K seater, bro. Like,
yeah, trillion.
Yeah.
90 trillion. I'd be wanting
Osimhen outright.
They wanted 90 trillion. Why the hell didn't they fucking sign Osimhen if it's 90 trillion?
no,
Yeah.
bro, 90 trillion.
90 trillion is a lot of money, bro. That I can't even wrap my head around 90 trillion. You could buy a planet with that money, bro. That's crazy money, bro.
Isn't that 900,000 billion or something?
90 trillion. We're gonna pay the UK.
Well, I don't know.
Bro, 90 trillion. We can pay the UK government to demolish whatever clock tower is not allowing us to build a taller stadium. For 90 trillion.
Yeah.
That's FU money. We could literally just pay the government to knock down that shitty little tower. I'm telling you, bro. Like 90 trillion.
God damn.
90 trillion. We could buy part. We could buy part of England and annex it off for 90 trillion. Yeah.
I was saying, and the thing is, like 90 trillion is just FU money, bro. That's the issue. It's literally just FU money.
That's more than fuck you money. That's like, I don't even know.
No, that's like
more than
FU
fuck you money, bro.
Entire nation thinks money, like.
Yeah, fuck Earth money. That's what that is, bro. But yeah, going on from, well, speaking of fuck you money, let's talk about more fuck you money that we're making.
Fuck off money. Fuck you, man.
Well, yeah, it's kind of fuck off money, to be honest, because we're gonna talk about David Dutcher Fofana. Here we go. He got a loan.
No, that's just simply fuck off. That's what it is.
Yeah, that is.
It's just, I mean, it kind of is simply fuck off. Let's bring it up here on the screen for you guys to see. First tweet we have here from The Athletic. Basically, I'm going to build a storyline because this was kind of a little fiasco going on between AEK Athens and the team he actually ended up on. So Chelsea are in talks to sell David Dutcher Fofana to AEK Athens, according to The Athletic. And then all of a sudden, there's architects saying David Dutcher Fofana's move to AEK Athens is currently considered off after struggling to meet Chelsea's terms. And then we did have Fabrizio Romano saying that David Dutcher Fofana leaves Chelsea to join AEK Athens on loan deal, which and then they said the agreement was reached. Also includes a buy option clause for £20 million, not mandatory, up to AEK Athens in June 2025 to decide about it. Fofana has accepted paperwork time now. And then I am Raman Osman saying here that David Dutcher Fofana to AEK Athens is not happening. So it was was very back and forth. It was happening, it was not happening. It was happening, it was not happening. And then Ben Jacobs saying here, last minute doubts on David Dutcher Fofana deal going through now after AK Athens requested change terms after a verbal agreement was struck. Deal hangs on the balance now. This was on like the final day of the Turkish window. And then Fabrizio Romano reported here that Gostepi SK agree a loan deal with Chelsea for David Dutcher Fofana. It also includes an option to buy and a recall clause in January, which I think that's interesting. I just read that. Chelsea can bring the player back in January 1st, 2025. Gostepi SK agreed loan deal with Chelsea for David Dutcher Fofana after AEK Athens move collapses. It also includes an option to buy and a recall clause in January. CFC can bring the player back in January of 2025. Why?
That's a shame.
Why is this even included? It's very clear that these guys have no plan for this guy.
That's also he could have went to Athens, could have went to Greece, and he went to.
I hate how unprofessional we are in the transfer window. Like, I'll be so honest with you.
No, unprofessional.
This is so dumb.
Are we
What, the fax machine broke again, Surfer?
What?
Like,
no, terms of the you literally just read terms of the deal.
Where did the fax machine break?
Yeah.
I didn't hear it.
Terms of the deal.
no, it's just how does the
Marshall wants
deal?
to be dramatic.
Maybe, but like, how does the deal? How do you agree in the deal, and then there's details that you end up not agreeing on, and then it's
Someone
back and forth,
changes
back
their
and
mind
forth.
at the last minute. That's what
I
happens.
mean, yeah, stuff
Obviously,
like that.
player, like you say, what if the original deal didn't have a recall in January? What if the player wanted to add that in?
Why are we listening to the player?
Because the player has rights, Marshall. He can
Marshall,
say
the
yes
deal
or no.
doesn't. Marshall, the deal doesn't happen unless the player.
Yeah,
gets
like this ain't
the
Yeah,
most
but
important
surely-
part. The most important part of the deal.
Surely he doesn't want to fucking be at Chelsea anymore. There's no
I
way.
mean,
He
it has to
definitely
be
wants
both
to
him,
be.
I guess.
Why would he necessarily want to go to Greece?
Greece is a great place to go. What are you talking about?
That's a good point.
Yeah, for holidaying, but not football. Greece.
Yeah, to live. I was about to say to live, but to play football, bro, like
Well,
I
at
guess
least
the
these
Turkish league
teams
is
too.
better.
Yeah.
I guess
I mean,
Well,
in
it's not
terms of
top five
options,
league, what
yes,
we're
it is
getting
for him.
it's what?
But it's not a top 5 league, Chris.
There was no Turkish options for him.
I believe it's Turkey. Turkey's not top 5.
yeah,
No,
but
it's
I
not.
would say
What's
Turkey's
the
better
point?
than
a bit
Greece.
higher than Greek, no?
Yeah, the league's higher. Like I can't think of
Yeah.
really anything in Greece.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? I just deeped what I'm reading right now. For a second, I thought there was still the same league. I don't know why Athens didn't click with me. Jesus Christ, I need sleep.
fraud.
But yeah, yeah. Maybe I am. So I don't know. Can anyone understand what the whole point of this recall being included? Like, is there any perspective where you can see
We might not
why
get
it's in there?
Osimhen in January. We might not get Osimhen in January.
That's
No,
Bro,
nothing to
that's
do with
like-
Osimhen whatsoever. Nothing to do with Osimhen
I mean, the
whatsoever.
only
It's
thing I
if he
can see is
if he doesn't
really
play,
big
if he
goodbye.
doesn't,
He
if
might
he doesn't
play.
play, if he doesn't
What was
play
it?
that much, that's probably why.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. In that
It's the
sense,
same thing that happened
yeah.
to him last season when he was at Berlin or whatever it was. He didn't, they brought him back and then loaned him out to Burnley. That's what it was. There's nothing to do with Osimhen whatsoever. He has no effect on Osimhen.
I just don't get it because like he wouldn't be a
whatsoever.
bad option to. back
Chris,
up
he was
Turkey.
never Chris. He was never going to play for us. Never.
I know, but I know.
So then why are we having this conversation?
No, but it's a bit weird since we have Gooey who ain't going.
It's not a bit weird whatsoever.
It
He's
is.
never going to play for us.
Like I don't
He
think
was
he's that
never in
bad
consideration.
as a backup.
Yeah, but
No,
you're
we've already
not.
got backups. What are we doing here? We've
Yeah.
already got
We
backups.
we have Gooey.
Yeah, he's a backup.
I think I would rather
Is
loan
he-
out Gooey.
What?
I would rather see Chelsea loan out Gooey instead of Dutch Fan. I think Dutch Fan is more.
Why? What
better.
has Thatcher Fofana done?
I
so
mean,
much?
he scored more goals than Gooey in his career. We've seen
but
more
He's
Dutch
literally
Fan.
a fetus, bro.
Has he?
Yeah,
Has
exactly. He's a fetus.
Huh?
Like, he needs some summer experience somewhere else. Like at Chelsea, he won't really get it.
We
No,
a fetus is crazy,
Thatcher
bro.
Fofana is not
Well,
good
I am
enough. for
pretty sure he's
Chelsea
gonna get
at any
a
level.
very high amount of Conference League minutes, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, Thatcher Fofana is not good enough at any level for Chelsea. Any level. Not a backup, not a third or fourth choice. He's not good enough.
For the recruitment team, if I'm in the recruitment team, then that's how they see it. Then that's how they see it. I see where Chris is coming from in the sense of like, I would have liked to have seen him play more. He has more experience than Gui. Surely you guys bought him for a reason, not just
they bought him to flip him. What they done?
Gui for that as well, I think.
It was just
Maybe, yeah.
Make a difference.
But like, doesn't is it confusing for you, Andrew? Though, like, surely you would think like these guys bring these players in to flip them for much more of a margin than the small ones that they're getting off of them right now.
We bought him for like what, 7.5 million?
Yeah, and what we're gonna make like
about 15 million profit on him.
15 off of him. Like I just would think like develop him and you sell him in 2-3 years time for 40. You know, that's what I thought would have been the smarter plan.
No, we're gonna get as much money as quickly as possible. You know, so that we can buy
13 million for Fofana. 13. That's quite.
It just doesn't make sense to me. And like, I mean, now that Andrew said it, like, in case he doesn't get playtime, which if you're not getting playtime in Turkey for Göztepe, then maybe he really isn't just not good enough.
You got playing time at Burnley and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, surely he gets playtime at Göztepe. I don't understand why he wouldn't get playtime at Göztepe unless he's really, really not that good. And in that sense, then Andrew's totally right in what he's saying, and Chris, you're wrong. So the time will tell with that one.
That's about £10 million we paid for him.
It says 13 when I.
It's 13 million. I think you're looking at.
Reported, from Santos, right?
Yeah. Well, whatever it is, he's not good enough. So out.
I'm not saying he's good enough. I'm just saying he's probably better than Gui. Like shooting wise, I think he's definitely better than Gui. Gui can't really shoot.
What have you got to prove that?
Seeing how he's shooting, like he can score outside the box and stuff. I ain't seen anything from Gui. Gui can have an open goal and still miss it.
When is that Fofana scored outside the box?
For Burnley, he actually has last season.
For Burnley, he scored 4 goals in about a 3-game period and then did nothing.
Yeah, and he scored from outside the box. There's a good goal, top bins.
But if I score outside the box one time, I'm not gonna say I got long shots in my luck. What
have we seen from Gui? Gui had like a goal.
No, I'm not arguing Gui. I'm just saying that if I do some shit one time, I'm not gonna roll up to people and be like, bro.
Can I be guys? Can I say?
Hang on. Stop making it about Gui versus Fofana. It's just Fofana by himself. Fofana's not good enough.
Yeah.
No, but
I think listen. But the thing is, Chris, let's be realistic, Chris. Yeah, Gui is probably going to be flipped too. Gui is probably going to be flipped as well. Okay, Gui is going to be flipped.
I can see that.
Yeah, we know Gui's going to be flipped. I think of Dachi Fofana, I saw potential in the brother, right? But at the end of the day, it looks like he's getting flipped too, bro. That's what the reality of the situation is with him too. Now, I think you probably, could have found maybe a better location to send him. You're trying to get a loan to buy option, but I see what the club have done. Stay there for 6 months. We'll try to put you back on the market in January to see if we can make something happen. Basically.
Okay, that's another. Yeah, you know what? That's another option as well. Okay, fair enough. Okay, now it makes more sense. Okay, because to me, the way I saw it with the recall was like, why you want to get rid of him? Just keep him there. Like, there's no point in recalling him back. But if there's a better deal out there, then yeah, I could see that. Or if he doesn't get enough playtime, yeah, I can see that as well. Find a better, because at the end of the day, like, you need him to do well, or you need to put him on the shopping window so that people can see, like, oh, this is a good player. He's developing really well. I'm gonna go buy him next season or whatever. So it makes sense in that sense.
Is that true, by the way? What the comments I'm just reading.
Yes, that is. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, we need to stop this, man. This gimmick's gonna get him elected, bro. This gimmick's getting him elected, bro.
This gimmick. Yo, I'm gonna just let up and say just give it up. I'm just
bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? Okay, first time, okay, we get that was actually legit. Second time, okay, man, gimmick hype, man. It's gimmick hype.
They actually thought it was actually 2 shooters. It was they said to be coming from Springfield, Ohio. It's a dog and a cat team that shot him. So it's just
what is it, The Simpsons? Like, what are we talking?
The fact you didn't get that joke, Marshall. and we did that live in the UK, it's hilarious, bro. But we're gonna keep it.
The fact that you didn't watch a presidential debate or heard anything of the news afterwards.
Marshall,
You know what I mean? Like, have you not been hearing cats and
Have
dogs
you not
again?
heard?
Ethan?
Have you not heard about?
You don't do
have you not
Twitter.
heard
When it comes to politics, I have been so checked
It's not
out.
even politics,
I have
bro.
just
This is
accepted the
just
fact that my
like,
country is fucked.
Kind of
All
still
right.
is, because it was mentioned in debate.
Hey, Chris, have you
Yeah.
ate cat
It was.
before? I feel like Chris has eaten cat before, man. I know, 'cause
Yeah, I
he's a
mean,
dog
you
guy.
share the
Huh?
cat.
Share the guy is crazy.
You know what I mean? You know, it's crazy.
What are you talking about,
Chris
bro?
eats sheep. Guys, if you don't know about Chris, Chris likes sheep. So, like, you know, again, him
I
eating
don't
cats
eat
and
lamb or
dogs.
nothing.
No, but you shag lag. You shag the.
You shag lag.
Jesus Christ.
Nice
Christ.
streams, dog.
Shout out.
I mean,
What is wrong with this guy, man?
Oh my god.
What is-
No,
All
bro.
right. Let's get back on track. We're almost done with the show, anyways, ladies and gents.
Let's carry
Few
on.
more- There's a few more things to discuss. Smash the like if you haven't done so already. Big up to the panel for joining us today. Show obviously making it always unique content every time we're on here.
all right, man.
So-
See, we're not getting appreciated here, man. No appreciation. for this, bro, man.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
I feel
You're
like
fraud. You're fraud, mate.
I feel like Ahmed just likes to be degraded. That's the way he likes to be complimented.
listen,
because if I actually give him a compliment, he's like, "What? Am I not good enough for a better compliment? All this and that." Like, God damn, man, you're like Kepa, bro. And speaking of Kepa, man, let's move on to Kepa, man. Yo, fucking on Kepa Arrizabalaga, according to The Athletic, there's a £5 million release clause that can become active if. Fuck you. God damn it. Okay, there's a £5 million release clause that can become active if other conditions
This is
in the
daddy,
deal are
man. This
fulfilled
is daddy,
and
Kepa.
at a number that is not expected to provide an obstacle to to a permanent transfer to the club of his choice next summer. £5 million release clause for
English, motherfucker. Do you speak it?
it's good profit. £5 million for Kepa Arrizabalaga. If I really hope we can get £5 million is a flash sale for Kepa. Like, someone buy him off us, please. I'm sure
That's,
I'm not the only one that wants him
That
gone.
that £5 million release clause is 90 trillion too much. That's what it is, right?
90 trillion too little for Clear Lake. Oh my god. I mean, is there really much to say on this, really? Like, obviously,
No.
outside of the Civil War, it was such a slow news week.
Just if he makes any crucial saves that get Bournemouth enough points to stay up or get through a cup, they'll pay it. It's only $5 million. They'll pay it. You know what I
Only
mean?
$5 million. Like it's in the dirt. Like
Yeah, it's
it's
cheap.
nothing. We
I'm
paid
surprised they
more
went-
for our keepers, our 4 keepers, each
I'm
one.
surprised we
We
probably
paid more
even
for what, the
something.
guy from Gank. Who's the young kid from Gank? Penders, right?
Penders paid
Oh,
up
Mike
20 million,
Penders, yeah.
20 million euros.
Yeah,
yeah.
Penders is more than Kevin, bro.
I'm
That's
sure we'll
crazy.
something. I'm sure we'll something for, even for the end of the season if he plays well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I don't care. He can go on a free, for all I care. The fact that we had to extend his contract for him to go on a loan pissed me the fuck off. I get why, but thank God they at least put this release clause on there. Some club must need a goalkeeper bad
Sam
enough
would
to
do
buy him
value
for
Kepa. $5 million.
Just want him off the books because his salary is ridiculous.
I mean, we did lower it, didn't we, to 75? That's still a
No.
lot.
We?
I
No.
thought we did.
No,
I thought because
No, I
when
think
we
we did.
extended his contract, I thought in the deal we was gonna half his wages or something.
I've
No, I
never heard
never heard
that.
anything like that.
Okay, never mind.
If
Maybe it's
other
might
not.
take
conditions in the deal
He
are
might have taken a
fulfilled,
pay cut to go to Bournemouth, but that's it. So
I wonder
Hey,
what the
man.
other deals in the condition are.
Probably Europe, something to do with European football. It wouldn't surprise me.
For Bournemouth, that'd be wild.
How old is Kepa now? Like 27?
no, 28, 29.
Oh, he's getting old as well. He's done.
Yeah, he's not gonna stay young forever, Chris.
He's not done much of it.
He's been in the club since like
He's-
sorry days, man. He's been here for
Yeah,
a
the
minute.
one I would say the first season was
Chris,
good, and then
Chris,
it
can
just
I
fell
ask you a
off.
question, bro? Chris, can I ask you a question, bro?
No.
Why do you glaze Kepa, bro? What do you see in Kepa, bro?
Like, lazy.
You know what I mean, bro? Every
And
time I
like
see
just
you,
plays
man,
I
You
mean,
just give
you
him
did
the-
used to defend him in the penalty shootout.
No,
Oh no, because I was
Remember
right.
those days,
And no,
Chris.
I was right. I said sub him on for penalties, and what did he do? Subbed him on for penalties, and he saved them. I was right for that. And you
Because
shut
every
your
time,
mouth.
Chris, yeah, you
shut
talk
your mouth
about
after that.
Chris, every single time, bro, you talk about this guy.
damn.
It's like you're polishing this guy's cock, bro. You know what I mean? Every
Yo.
single time, bro. What's going on, bro?
Hey, yo.
Like, let it go,
What
bro.
do you mean,
Like,
what's
we
going
get it,
on
bro.
here? You're talking
Yeah.
about Puffy, not me.
Oh
I'm
my
coming for your
god.
ass,
Yo,
man.
I'm
I'm coming for that
this
ass.
late night stream, bro.
Pause.
Cock watching now. Crazy, bro.
Clearly.
Like,
Hey, yo.
Nah, this is what happens when we talk about Kepa, man. Let's talk about.
Yeah, I'm
You know what? I'm not even that transition would have been so AO if I said that. So I'm glad I'm keeping my transition to
God.
myself right now. Let's talk about Chilwell. We're almost there.
Gallagher ass
boys.
transition
Another
right
great
there, bro.
It was a very Gallagher ass transition. I ain't gonna lie, but it's better than what I was gonna say before. Anyways, so Ben Chilwell is on the line to stay at Chelsea, with sources saying yesterday he is not close to a switch to a country where the transfer window remains open, according to Kieran Gill. Those close to Ben Chilwell insist it makes no sense for him to go unused, saying it is better to place your player in the shop window rather than shove him in storage and ruin your chances of recouping anything. He hoped he could be included in last week's the Europa Conference League squad. I disagree with this one in terms of Ben Chilwell, but I will come back
where
to
would he
this.
play? Where would they think he'd play?
Not only that,
Why
like,
would he-
I
is he gonna
argue it's the
improve his
opposite,
value?
bro. The less people see of Chilwell, the
Yeah.
more they're gonna be willing to pay.
That's what I'm saying. So bad
Yeah.
loss
Yeah.
here. Chilwell
Chilwell
hasn't been
is
kept
ass.
fully away from the first. This is kind of pathetic. I'm not gonna lie, but Chilwell hasn't been fully kept away from the first team squad as other players were. He has trained away from the first team when Maresca has a full squad of players, but has been brought back when there have been injuries or absence to help make up the numbers.
Yeah.
Damn,
that's like-
dude.
That's so embarrassing, bro.
That
Like,
is embarrassing.
Move on. She don't want you anymore. It's like you're there when she argues with her new boyfriend, dog. Like, this is cuck behavior. Move on, dog.
Literally, oh, dear.
Like,
Literally, as you
embarrassing,
said
dog.
that, Ben Chilwell is hoping he can be included in Chelsea's 25-man Premier League squad, with the left back not expected to move on loan to Turkey. Chelsea must submit their Premier League squad on Friday, and Chilwell could be included despite being frozen out. And then lastly here, Ben Chilwell has been included in the Chelsea 25-man Premier League squad and will meet with the head coach, Enzo Maresca, about his future. And I don't think there's really... Oh, wait, there's two more. Fuck. Ben Chilwell received some proposals in the final days of the window. For example, from Brentford, he decided to reject several opportunities. Chelsea were also not happy with some of the proposals. He's back to the Chelsea squad, according to Fabrizio Romano, and there is still a concrete possibility Ben Chilwell will leave Chelsea in January and try a new experience. I don't think Ben Chilwell wanted the move, to be honest with you. I think he'd just rather chill and get the wages he's getting at.
Honestly, bro. Like,
Chelsea.
can we? By the way, like, can we like lower his wages just for that cut, dog? Like, that cut is criminal. That's disgusting, dog.
It's not a good cut. It's definitely not a good cut. I mean, he's back in the squad, Surfer. So there was. I was kind of justified in that conversation we had.
That's because he was the only person left in training by himself. It's just a pity me spot.
Yo.
Who's the only person left? Who else is left? And
Everybody,
that squad is
wait, no, Carney got brought back in from the
Carney
bomb
got brought
squad.
back. Cassidy got brought back.
Yeah, Cassidy
David
brought back.
Washington's in Premier League
Pathetic, I
2.
ain't
This
gonna lie.
guy's the only one
Yeah,
training by
Yo, two
himself. It just
legend.
looks weird.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
There's no one else left in the bomb squad. He's the only one left. Captain of the bomb squad. He's the only one left.
He saw all his homies leave one by one. Captain of the. No, I agree though. Like, we're gonna get more money if the last thing we can show them, like, is like Champions League highlights, bro. If they get to see like this season highlights, bro, it's cooked. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'd rather not play him because I feel like he's only going to hurt himself. But at the same time, like, if we're getting lowballed too, like, listen, I know Chilwell's not as good as he used to be. He definitely doesn't fit Maresca's system. Is he useless? I don't think he's useless. He definitely fits into some systems.
Yeah, Man United. Ten Hag.
No. Enzo Maresca said he's just a left back. Just a left. He ended his
There are
career.
clubs that need just a left back. Surely.
Yeah.
Surely. Surely this club's out there needs just a left back.
Enzo Maresca literally said he's just a left back in a derogatory way. Yeah, you know I mean?
That's you, by the way. You're just a left back. Parentheses derogatory.
Yeah, for real. It's just not much hope for this guy.
You know what
man.
makes it even funnier? That just reminded me of like at the beginning of the season where he was like, "Yeah, I really love players that are like Swiss Army knives," and he's like, "Chilwell, yeah, he's just a left back."
Trying to find a solution for Chilwell and all that.
bro.
I remember he said that. I was like, we're trying to find solutions. Like, I don't think you will.
Yeah, I think Chelsea shot themselves in the foot when we gave him a 200k a week extension in it. So
That's
That
probably
was a
Todd
move.
Bowley.
right,
Yeah,
It
that was
wasn't
a
even-
move, yeah.
Probably,
under Todd
probably
Bowley.
that was guaranteed.
So and like again, like last season he wasn't great, and again, like listen, Chilwell has not reached the heights of his former self. Doesn't have
No.
recovery pace. Again, he's not as fast as he used to be. He's not great even going forward anymore. Like
No.
he's lost like a height of ability that he used to have previously, and so the problem becomes okay. Let's say someone can't buy him, it then becomes okay. Let's get Chilwell out on loan. But he's on 200k a week. I don't see any club that's willing to pay even 50%, 100k a week here on Chilwell. If that was the case, bro, that would have happened right now.
Maybe they're going to play him at right back.
Exactly. And the problem is, bro, again, he's way too injury prone. He's way too injury prone as well. Like, you can't even trust him to give you a full 38 games. He's not done it in the last 3 seasons, bro.
When was his last injury?
Which is a great decision to give him 200k.
Last season.
Last season,
But he's been injured since. He's been constantly injured since 2021, since December 2021. He's never. Yeah, he's constantly been injured.
yeah, was he was injured during that good run of form we had with Poch last season, wasn't he?
Yes.
I don't remember.
Probably.
I mean, I don't remember. I also don't care, to be honest, because I don't. He's defensively a liability, and he's not that good going forward anymore. Got pretty much what Ahmed said, and even then, like the bread and butter for him was the ability that he had to bomb forward, and like I can't believe I'm
He was
saying
only
this,
good as
but
he was only good as a wing back. He was never good as a fullback. He's
yeah.
not defensively sound, first of all.
I can't believe I'm saying this, and maybe like Surfer reel me back if I'm being too harsh. I feel like Alonso was better than him now at this point.
Probably.
Okay.
Probably.
Alonso
Yeah,
again.
I feel like
Is
it's
Alonso
Alonso
going forward,
again.
still
The thing
better?
about Alonso is, yeah, going forward, you can't really deny what Alonso can give you.
Yeah.
Right? It was again the problem with not Alonso. The problem with Chilwell is that he's even lost his ability going forward, bro. Like there's like a large gap right now in his ability to play going forward now. Like, and then the thing about Alonso couldn't defend, but he could somewhat recover. You know, he still has some level of recovery pace to get back and still be a body in front of like a winger. The thing is, he can't even do that anymore either. But again, the problem with Chilwell
absolutely
is that
not.
Chilwell
Dude,
is
he's
not
not
good.
good defensively.
Chilwell, even pre-injury, Chilwell was a okay defender. Now that he's had all those injuries, bro, he's a below average defender, bro. He can't really defend people 1v1. He's not able to turn anymore. Again, he's had an ACL injury, guys. Someone said ACL injury is going to be a lot harder for them to turn with an ACL issue.
Not everyone can do it either. That's the other thing.
And
too.
again, listen, this guy had both the ACL injury and the Achilles injury, right? That's like the 2 worst injuries to have, and he had it back to back. Remember, look at Cho. Cho had an Achilles injury, bro, and it's taken him 4 years to recover. 4 years to recover, basically. If you look at how he's been playing.
Yeah. So I mean, how we get rid of Chilwell, that's a big obstacle for recruitment team. Lawrence Stewart, I think that's his job to do. Hopefully they figure out something. They're gonna have to lower the wages, I'm sure, or do what they did with Raheem Sterling if they're gonna loan him out.
It was made doubly hard to do when they all signed off on that new fucking contract for him. That's what happened.
Yeah. And again, that's a Bowley. I'm pretty sure that was.
I don't know if it's all of them. Don't separate this anymore.
Yes.
It's all of them.
Yes.
All of them. They all signed off on it. They all agreed to it. It's all of them.
That's true, right? Yeah. It was a bad idea to do it. We should have taken our time to see that. Even to an extent, the Reece James ones too. It's looking more and more like a bad idea. Time will tell with that one. Hopefully hopefully we somehow find a solution for Chilwell that involves him going the other direction and us getting some type of money out of him. So
Here's a
let's see
solution.
what happens.
Here's
Promise.
a solution. Here's a solution. Make him drink something that knocks him out on a plane. Then you take that plane to somewhere a deserted area.
Yeah.
You put a spike in the middle of the deserted area with a leash, and you tie it around his neck while he's unconscious, and then you fly away. And then you just let you see what you can see if he comes back.
I feel like you're describing the plot for Mad Max 3. It's just like, what's going on, man?
I was really hooked into that
That's crazy.
story.
Yeah, it was. All right, last story we have here is another player that it has to be an outgoing. Before we hit on this, guys, go ahead and smash the like button if you haven't done so already. Mudryk for sale?
Oh, he's not good.
Listen, it
60
could
million
happen.
to Arsenal. Who says no?
Right? Chelsea. So according to Give Me Sport, Chelsea could be open to selling Mikel On Mudryk in January transfer window if he doesn't improve his form over the next 3 months.
Wow.
Over under that he improves form.
Sancho snatched
think
his
under.
chain, dog. It's over.
Oh,
Maresca's like
100%.
actually in love with Sancho. Maresca's in love with Sancho, bro. Like it's over for Mudryk. I'm
Because
not
he's
gonna
got
lie.
talent, I guess.
Yeah. No, but we saw what Sancho did. If Sancho is solidifying his place in the first team squad for the Premier League, I don't see, and I was saying this yesterday, I don't see how Mudryk gets any minutes. Like, I want Tariq George to get more minutes than him, to be honest.
So
And
true,
Tariq
by
George
the
is
way.
giving me more. Tariq George is giving me more in the Conference League than Mudryk
Tyreek
has
George
the
in
whole
that
time.
conference league, he was actually moving. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. The one good thing that Mudryk has done this season so far is the pass to Jackson that he was one-on-one and Jackson couldn't put it away. That's the only thing I can name.
I'm trying to think
That's
of a
it.
realistic price for Mudryk as well. What's a realistic price? 20 million?
Probably.
We're gonna take
I
a
would.
hit. We're gonna take a hit on this, by the way. A big one.
Yeah. Also, probably. Actually, you never know because when it comes to sales, we're pretty good at selling
Sometimes you
players.
can be lucky.
I think
I
most
know
times
we have
we
to
can be
find
lucky.
someone dumb enough to spend 30 million on Mudryk. Then yeah, fair enough.
Damn. That's damn. That's crazy. I mean, anyone thinking that this is not going to happen? That he's actually going to improve his form?
Oh no, he's failing.
All right, this guy is just a
Mudryk,
plain
whoever-
you know,
nose
listen,
diving.
again, Mudryk should have gone to Strasbourg last season, boys. Again, that's what should have happened last season. It's not happened this season. This guy's going to go down probably top 3, if not top 2, worst transfers in Chelsea history.
Yes,
yeah.
I see top 3. Yeah, the thing is, like, whoever, and I said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. Whoever gave him a ball and cleats messed up. They should just give him the cleats and throw him on a track. He would have won gold for Ukraine.
Yeah, I could see that. I can 100% see that. But even then, bro, he barely uses his pace. Neto uses
He
his
doesn't have a
pace.
brain, but if it's just a track and it's just run as fast as you can in a straight line, there's no way he can mess that up.
Nah,
Right?
Yeah, okay,
Like-
fair enough. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's fair. So, like, I don't know how hopeful. I'm not holding my breath that we're going to be able to sell him in January. I think we should make the attempt. I mean, it's got to come to a point where you can't act like the previous ownership, where we just extend the contract to maintain the value, never sell the player. You always hold on to him. You got to get to a point where, like, you got to accept the loss. And I think on Mudryk, you're going to have to accept the loss. I hate to say it because at first I was hoping that, yeah, he's a very good talent. But in the little I've seen so far under Maresca, I don't see that potential there. I don't. I don't think he's competent enough. I think Maresca, in the most polite way, has expressed frustrations with him, and how he just doesn't, really mesh with the tactics. So, sorry to say, I mean, this is what I said earlier in the season. Chelsea is now becoming a harsh environment in terms of we're not going to give everyone chances. Only the best of the best can make it here. And I like that. I think that's fine. So, Misha, if you're not one of the best, then you're going to have to just keep it pushing, bro, and find another club.
I'm so sorry, like Mudryk.
to-
If you see Nkuku on the bench and you think you're just gonna keep riding out this mediocrity, bro, it's over for you.
100%, 100%. So yeah. Any other final thoughts, ladies and gents?
Mudryk,
Close this out.
time to leave my club. Thank you very much, mate.
Sterling
Marseille,
already gone.
You know what I mean?
Mudryk on the way out.
Sterling 50% gone. You know what I mean? I've only won I've won the war by 50% there. Like Sterling's kind of left my club.
No,
He's
you-
still at the club.
No, you bailed. You
He's still
bailed.
at the club. You know what I mean? He's still
I
at
would
the club.
say-
He's still at the club.
You know what I said about Ben Chilwell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Add an extra spike in that desert with Chilwell, so he can.
Put some Misha in there. Like we'll get these guys for bargain price,
Unsellable,
clearance sale
unsellable.
price.
He has no football IQ. So much so that he calls it football QI. That's how much he doesn't know.
I told everybody.
He's arguably. He has no break. Yeah, he's just terrible, bro. I mean, his career should have ended when he got subbed for Tariq George in the Conference League qualifier.
Yes. And then Tyreek George
before that.
outshone him, bro. Literally got outshone by
He's terrible. He's
I said
terrible.
this to everybody literally, like almost 2 years ago. I said this. If a footballer does not have a first touch by the age of 20, they're not going to get it when they're 24, 25. I could literally throw a block of cement at Mudryk and I swear it would bounce off of him. His first touch is shit, dog. It's awful. He's not going to get it, bro. Like I've seen him he's fast enough to get to the ball where nobody other player would get there. And then his first touch kicks it out.
Do you know why Chelsea said you get all these reports that Chelsea they want to keep Mudryk? It's because no one came in for him.
Mm-hmm.
No one came in for him. No one came in for him from loan or anything like that. No one came in for him. They said they had to go out and say, "Oh yeah, well we're keeping him," because it's embarrassing. And no one came in. Nearly all of our players, someone came in for. No one came in for Mudryk whatsoever. No, there was no reports.
Cause like.
No reports about anyone linked to Mudryk on loan or anything, not even to Strasbourg. Even our feeder club don't want him.
You're
You know
not.
what I mean,
That's bad.
It's true. It is bad. That being said,
It's time to go!
Wait. It's not time to go, mate. Time to get Marshall at my football club, mate. You know what I mean? Look at these South Americans in my football club, man. They're not making my. It's not proper Chelsea, mate. You know what I mean? Get out of my club, Marshall.
Respect,
hold up,
yo.
You know what I mean?
Respect Caicedo. Caicedo was captain.
I am not a clown.
Respect Caicedo, bro. Respect Caicedo.
yeah, that is crazy.
Yo,
That's crazy.
Alman out of context gonna be eating good with that clip. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can see that.
Go to the sheep shagger. We don't do that around Chelsea. That's not proper Chelsea. You know
Your
what I mean?
obsession with dragging
You
sheep,
know what I
man,
mean?
is concerning me.
Three
It's
guys,
really
man.
concerning me, Arlen.
Late night stream.
Yeah,
Bro.
you know what I mean? Listen, we got anti-Chelsea's around me everywhere. Anti-Chelsea everywhere, man. You know what I mean? I'm fighting
Well,
for the
you
good
proper
name.
Chelsea, are you?
You know what I mean? Yeah, man. I'm fighting for the badge, man. I'm fighting for the badge, man. You know what I mean? I'm fighting for the badge, man.
I knew
I'm
he was
fighting for
putting that shit on, bro.
Let's
As soon
have
as
it
I saw
right.
him doing this, I'm like,
the badge. You know what I mean? VVS, man, right there.
oh man.
Syria merchants. All right, ladies and gents, we're gonna close out the show. Thank
This
you
man
so
said
much for.
exactly. You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? I know AKD is saying it unironically too. I've seen this.
Yeah.
I've seen how he comes after Caicedo for no reason. I see it, bro.
Oh my days! All right, ladies and gents, we're gonna call it a night with that one. Dry week when it comes to like actual important Chelsea news. There's a few things in there, but really nothing crazy. So we've had a steady, slow week when it comes to Chelsea. But hey, we're done with international break. Premier League is back. We got a win yesterday, thank goodness. And we'll be back to talk about more things Chelsea probably on Wednesday. I'm not entirely sure yet. I got to figure out how this week is going to play out. If not, we'll be here for the match reaction on Saturday. That being said, ladies and gents, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Big up Ahmed, the Bridge 258 for the raid earlier today. If you're here from that raid, be sure to also smash the like and all that fun stuff as well. Go ahead and check out Ahmed's channel, link down below in the description. RSM, you also have a channel. If you don't mind, send me the link in the private chat so I can put it into the description for after the video. And yeah, ladies and gents, leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on everything we discussed today. As always, check out the memberships, 4 different tiers starting at 99p. And for those of you who are new here and don't know about the memberships, there is a tier called the proper casual tier, where if you are a proper casual and higher, you get shout outs at the end of every show. And those shout outs are going to be going out to EE, Uncle Gesture FC, Hassan Nawaz, Will, Dark, Adrian, A. Suleiman, and Scott. Big up to you guys for the love and support, and big up to everyone else who also supports. We're going to be rating out to Sarcasm City. Flawless is streaming and reacting to the Spurs match that just happened. Arsenal won, Spurs lost. It is what it is. It's kind of expected, to be honest. Smoking. And Liverpool lost too. Yeah, you know what? That's true.
We didn't mention it, but I'm on the way out. You know,
yeah, we're smoking the slot pot or the slot pack.
Yeah, bro.
The slot pack. Yeah, there we go.
Exactly. I'm here.
Slot drop.
Yep.
Oh,
you know how it is, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're smoking on that Marshall pack too. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Huh? Let's end the show. Ladies and gents, have a wonderful night. As always, stay casual.